It's too early, but that's okay. My gym workout was phenomenal. Before I went home, I decided to stop over at my mother's house. I haven't seen my mother in 2 months. I know she's going to be very surprised to see me. I can't wait. What the? I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The first thing I noticed was this person's skin. What is going on? Uncomplicated, untreated skin? Who is this guy? I had to take a step back, but then I realized it was my brother. But look at his skin. Have you guys ever seen anything like that? I had to take a closer look and figure out what was going on. Best believe I crept up on him. Peep this. I'm still looking at his skin trying to figure out how did we get here. I could do nothing but shake my head. He could definitely use my help. I had to get to the bottom of this. He definitely needed some game about his skin. I'm just staring at it like looking at it. Come on, bro. I knew what to do. I had to reach in my bag and get that Tej Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men. Bro, this is why I'm excited to have Tej Hanley as the sponsor of today's video. They have helped me start and maintain my skincare routine by making the entire process uncomplicated. Honestly, it's the best skincare system for guys like you and me. I recommend you start with their level 1 system, which comes with all the basics. A daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and the grime on your skin, a 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells, an AM moisturizer with SPF 20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. My brother was so excited. My favorite part about Tej Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really make the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin easy. Shout out to Tej Hanley. And because Tej Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers a great deal. Just click the first link in the description, and not only will you get Tej Hanley for the best possible price, but they'll also give you a free gift with your first box. Click that link and get started today for just $30. Feel the Tej. Let the Tej force be with you. That's right, family. Feel the Tej. It's go time. What's going on, family? Welcome to King Talk. We're going to introduce the crew. We got Bruiser, Trigger Mike, Humble Dad, Mr. Let Go, Big Cloud Jones, Luis, Ali, Shannon Ross, Sweeney, and myself on Lapeef JR. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. What's going on, family? How y'all doing? How y'all doing?
What's up? What's up?
What's going on, man?
Greetings.
Y'all got a lot of game on them mics, boy.
What's going on?
A whole lot of game.
I see Clout Jones took a chapter out of Bruiser's book.
The same thing too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I like to step up. You know what I'm saying?
Yo,
Actually,
I love
actually,
seeing
I-
that.
Actually, I
Clout
love borrow my suit and stuff. That's why I'm not wearing one right now.
Oh man, that was hilarious. Looking great there, Cloud Jones.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, good to see Bruiser's influencing the young men out here.
Absolutely, 100%.
Bruiser wear the same damn suit every day. He ain't influencing nobody.
Come on, you ain't right.
Hope you got it dry clean, Bruiser.
He ain't give up them glasses.
It's good to see you guys in attendance. Welcome to King Talk on the Lapeef Network. Before we get the show started, shout out to the sponsor, Tej Hanley. Uncomplicated skincare for men, 30% off along with a free gift. That link is in the description. Go ahead and feel the Tej, as I always say. If you want to become a member, that link is pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to the members that's in the chat currently. We got Joe Lee, Mr. BX87, Ed Hill, City Boy 313, Shamar Lawrence. Shout out to everybody that's a part of the Green Gang. Catherine Forbes is also in the chat as well. Hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. That is very important before we get the show started. This is going to be a great show. It's going to be one of those bangers. I can just feel it. Shannon, I see you got that fifth shirt on. Did I say it correctly? Fifth?
Filth. Like it's the male version of the MILF.
Father.
Father, I like to forget.
I like that.
Oh, friend zone.
There you go. There you go. So we got the Real Precious that's in the house as well. Shout out to you. Catch her here on Thursdays on Lapeef Let's Talk Show. Let's go ahead and get the show started, man. I got the icebreaker for you guys. The icebreaker is, I'm gonna just post it first before I put it up there. Brandon Carter says, what you lack in talent can be made up with desire, hustle, and given 110% all the time. When you guys read this, what comes to mind? I just want to see if we're on the same page, or if anybody has a different perspective, maybe a different outlook. Do you agree with them? Let's go ahead and dive into this icebreaker.
Can you read it one more time?
When you lack talent,
I can still put it up there again for you guys.
Yeah, what you lack in talent can be. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. We had this conversation. I think Trigger Mike was there on my podcast when we was talking about talent versus desire. I think something like that.
Yep. Yep.
The person that comes to mind that does it well is Russell Westbrook.
I think right now, and it like for the last few years, that might be a bad example.
Nah, bro.
How
I'm
about
a
Ray
basketball
Lewis?
connoisseur. You know what I'm saying? Like Russell Westbrook is he hustles, he works hard, he gives his all, but he's not talented. Right? His IQ level is very low as it relates to the position that he plays.
He's athletically gifted.
Facts, right? But as it relates to the IQ, he's not. That's not him. But his desire. There are a lot of athletic dudes. In the league, you know what I'm saying?
No,
his drive is really what sustains him.
Okay.
So when you say he's not talented, talent is a natural aptitude that somebody has. It's typically something that somebody's born with. That boy got talent. It's not something that you can't teach talent. You don't go to school to be talented. You're just naturally talented in whatever it is. So when you say Russell Westbrook is not talented, are you saying that what he has is all something that he gained in going in through learning, or are you saying that he has no natural skills?
Well, I'm not talking about his parenting or being a husband or nothing like that. I'm talking
about football.
I'm talking about basketball. Like, dude is.
I'm sorry, basketball. Russell Westbrook, basketball.
Yeah, basketball.
You don't believe that he's a talented basketball player?
No, I played basketball since I was 7. I didn't make it to the league or nothing like that.
That's wild.
Not talented.
That's wild.
Whoa.
Right.
So
that's wild.
Also confused.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it to another round, maybe off of basketball. So I believe this. Like, I don't think there are very few things other than probably firearms that I've ever been the most talented person in the room. Right. So there was a job that I was up for maybe going on 3 years ago now, and I ended up getting that job. And they told us they were going to create this position, and it was coming down the line in about 6 months. They were going to be looking at a few people for it. And everybody that I was competing with kept talking about their talent. Well, this is what I've done for the company. This is what I've done for the company. I'm telling you, listening to these people talk, I knew I was going to get the job. And when I got the job, naturally, everybody started hating on me, started saying, maybe it's because he's black, maybe it's because he's a man, all this type of stuff they usually say. And when I finally got on a meeting and they wanted to like crack jokes and make little slights, they were like, so how did you get this job? I mean, who do you know? Who pocket you in? Like that type of stuff. I said, I need to make something very clear. I work harder than every single one of you. When y'all were in the lunchroom or when y'all were lollygagging, I was working. I was going above and beyond the call of duty on purpose because they told us this was the goal. They told us they were going to have something for us. And when it came down to it, I checked every box and y'all didn't. The person that's usually the richest is not the smartest. people call Elon Musk a genius. He is not a genius. This man just knows how to galvanize people to do the work, to work his vision. Okay, he's not a genius himself. He just knows how to pick people and knows a little bit of everybody's job and what makes an engine so other people can build the engine. That is somebody that knows how to hustle.
Like a Steve Jobs.
Yep.
You know.
Or JR.
If we can bring it back to basketball, I'm just surprised nobody mentioned somebody I feel like is the greatest.
I tried to take it off basketball. Bruiser just brought it.
Bryant. My man Kobe. So I mean, I don't know if anybody remember when he came to the league, he was shooting airball. He wasn't talented. He had enough talent to make it in the league, but he didn't have enough talent to be exceptional on the floor. He had to go actually work on his game versus somebody like Michael Jordan, LeBron, all these guys coming into the league with this just freak of nature talent like Zion Williams. Kobe had to go actually work for his. He had to go and work and study the game, be at the gym before the lights even came on. When everybody was out partying, he was in the gym. So he had to go. And that inevitably made him greater. It inevitably created a way where he actually started obtaining, talents. But he actually had to go work and grind for it because he wanted to be the best. So
yeah. So when talent meets work ethic, that's when you delve into the realm of elite. Right. So I get what you're saying. He was talented enough to get into the league. You got other people who's freaks of nature, talented. I don't know if you guys ever seen that movie Higher Learning. I'm a little older, so there's a movie called Higher Learning, came out a long time ago with Ice Cube, Omar Epps, and there was a scene in the movie Higher Learning where Omar Epps was a track runner in the movie, right? And so he went to USC, and then when he went on the track, he was like, "Yeah, I clean everybody's clock." And the coach told him, he said, "Yeah, you talented here, but unless you figure out what you're going, how to get your work ethic up, everybody else will smoke your ass on the track." There's another movie with what's my man where he was it Drumline? I think it was Drumline.
Drumline. You the best, Evan. You the best.
Yeah. But don't nobody hear know how to read music. He didn't know how to read.
He the band. One band.
He just one band. One band, one sound. He just played. He knew how to play the drum. That's talent, right? But until he learned the discipline of reading music and working with others and being a team player and all that other kind of stuff, he'd never be super great. Kobe, as a great example, my man Bruiser brought up, had the talent to get into the league, but he had to add the work ethic to become the elite player that he became. Now, according to the meme that JR just showed, if you don't have any talent, can you make that up in other ways? Yeah, absolutely. I 100% agree with that. It's as I used to teach people back when I was a manager in retail, it's either will or skill. You got to have one or the other. So if you don't have it built in, you got to go get it some other way. And if you go get it some other way, you can kind of make up for where you don't have it built in. Now, if you have it built in and you work, that takes you above to the top of the top. That's like the king of kings. That's like the elitism of any particular field.
You don't think that there's some things you just won't be able to do?
Yeah. Hell yeah. Shit. You know how many failed rappers are out there? It's like, bro, you 40, bro. But I know you still shopping your demo tape. But yeah, you might want to give up that rapping game.
I don't believe that. I don't believe there's nothing that I don't think people are just predisposed to not being able to make it. I honestly think that, and that's the reason why I love Kobe Bryant so much. I honestly believe if you work hard at anything you want to do, you can be the best. And I feel like people are just not honestly being genuinely honestly with themselves.
Hold on now. Now, Kobe Bryant is a 6'6" freak of nature. Come on now, like that's different from watching somebody.
He had the talent.
He had to work on it, but look at you got to look at compare him to other people who actually came out of college. Like Michael Jordan came out of North Carolina. His coach, I think it was Dean, somebody actually worked that dude. But Kobe had to come out of high school, out of Lower Merion. I think it was Philly. I think it's from where Mr. Lecco at.
Do you know how talented you got to be drafted straight out of high school?
Bruiser, there's some people that can be that there's some people that just would not beat Mike Tyson in his prime, no matter how hard they work, no matter how many times.
I'm not necessarily saying he can't.
I think what y'all are saying too, especially with the Mike Tyson thing. Some people, especially like, okay, Mike Tyson was so talented that when he had the work ethic, you couldn't beat him, and that's why when he ultimately lost, he beat himself.
Yeah,
he beat himself.
Bar.
When he stopped working out, when he started letting the fame get to him, he beat himself. That's usually what you see with most of these elite players. I dare say Michael Jordan wasn't even the most talented player. He's the best player of all time. He was not the most talented player of all time. His work ethic. Look at the work ethic. Every single person that we call elite, their work ethic is otherworldly, is God level. That's why we know them as the people.
One of the most talented players ever touched the floor, bro.
They said Len Bias was probably going to be one of the most talented ever. Like there were people that were talented. Literally, Steph Curry. In fact, let's look at it. The way he shoots, he's ultra talented.
Results don't lie, man. Michael Jordan. There's no way you can say Michael Jordan wasn't talented.
Okay, this is why we say results can lie. Look at Michael Jordan's numbers and look how many people put up those same numbers and aren't even notable names in the league.
Yeah, but look what
that's something right there.
That's a different era. Imagine.
I'm not even saying it for error's sake. What I'm saying is that look who took over in the clutch. That's who Michael Jordan was.
Look at Allen Iverson, one of the most talented.
Exactly.
But never won a ring. He had
no
all
work
the talent in the world, but he would literally be like, "Man, I'm not practicing. What am I practicing for?" He had all the talent in the world, but not the work ethic. Never won anything.
Well, exactly. Allen Iverson was also one of those people who, like, some players just face adversity through while growing up. Allen Iverson was never one of them. Like he was great in high school. I think he got drafted in his freshman year in college after he was one and done.
He faced some adversity, bro. He went through some shit
he went to his own. Probably he did that shit. It wasn't that somebody did something to him. He was out there fucking around.
That's a whole nother argument. It's subjective.
I was about to say, yeah.
I'm gonna get Ali in there. I know he was trying to say something. Go ahead, Ali.
Well, our brothers are conflating skill with talent. That should be what you lack in skill can be made up with desire. Talent is God-given. That's God-given. You can't take anything from anyone. You can't just train yourself to have God-given talent. The skill is things you can put us in positions in where if we put enough effort into, we can acquire a certain skill, put enough time into it. Main example is America's Got Talent. I don't care how hard you work at singing. If you can't sing, you can't sing. And that's why most people like watching America's Got Talent, mostly for the people who can't sing versus the people who can sing, just to see the people who think they do got talent. So there's things, I think there's pros and cons to both. You can have an extreme amount of talent, but if you don't put no effort into it, you'll go nowhere. But then you can have no skill, but you put enough drive and energy, like Trigger saying, in certain positions where it takes a trade or certain skills, and you can perform better than anyone. So we conflating two things that's different. Talent is God-given. Skill is something you can work towards to learn.
Yeah. And when you put those two together, like I think True Table said in the chat, Floyd Mayweather was actually work ethic and talent together. Like I don't like when people talk about him and his low reading level, all that stuff. Look at this dude in the gym and the way he practices. His level of discipline is apparent. All right, it's otherworldly. You put talent together with work ethic, you get a 50-0 champ.
Yeah, the GOATs need both. Anybody who's the greatest, these GOATs that we look at, the people we look into that's phenomenal, they have to have talent and hard work, typically.
And kind of the reason why I asked that question is because I think what happens is that there are a lot of people out there that put a lot of work ethic into the wrong stuff. Like some things you're just not meant to do. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily try to find out what they're talented at, or at least semi-good at, and then cultivate that.
Why do I feel like I need to send this clip to half the dudes I went to college with still trying to launch their rap career? Damn, when you said that. Woo! But that's neither here nor there.
Hard work. Yeah, man. Hard work, beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a base understanding for a lot of people, regardless of whether it's in sports, whether it's in entertainment or any sort of talent acquisition, or even in the profession. I mean, let's be honest. There's some people who are just naturally gifted at math, right? They just can put stuff right out of their head. There are other people that are just terrible at that and are just more social creatures. They are more socially calibrated and they're better in the service sector. So I think it's just aligning yourself on what strengths are yours and working on your craft that could take you much further.
When I used to sell cars, it was a thing where the new guy, whoever the new guy was, whether it was me or somebody else, they usually come in and sell more cars than everybody. And I did that when I sold cars.
What?
And I was like, it was like somebody trying to hate on me, like, well, all the new people come in and sell more cars than everybody. It's not just you. And I'm like, why? Why are you trying to discount me? He said, y'all come in and work harder than the rest of us. And sometimes, since y'all don't know nothing, y'all actually make the customers feel safe because you knew. And they actually told me in month 3 and month 4, keep telling the people you knew. You just not as new, but keep telling people you knew, you're going to keep selling cars. And I was like, okay. But one person said, but don't let go of that drive, because that's what's causing you to sell cars. Not your talent, because you don't know what you're doing. But the fact that you are jumping in front of folks and eager to help people is what we no longer have, because we've been in the game for so long. We just sitting back, not doing whatever. And the drive actually made me sell more cars than everybody, and not the talent.
I think I heard it all tonight, man. You said you sold cars. I wouldn't expect that one let go.
He got a car selling voice. I ain't gonna lie.
I thought you sold tires, man. Used tires.
Go ahead, Cloud. What you got on it, brother?
I would say talent just gets you in the door in most cases. You know, like talent can open up doors for you, but it can't like take you to the far stretch. You know, it can't win a race for you. So I definitely think hard work, discipline, hustle, drive, desire, all of those things can take you a lot farther than talent can.
Shout out to Chaotic. He says we need to smile more on the panel. He said white panels smiling, black panels be mean mugging.
That was a good point, Clout. That was a good point, because it reminded me when I was in the military and I had to go to Haiti. And I sat down with Paul Walker and a couple of guys from Special Forces, and we was talking about how they were shooting them sniper rifles and stuff when they were training. And I was like, man, I don't think I can ever do nothing like that, man. Like, I tried to pick up one of them. I couldn't even carry the 50 cal sniper rifle. And then the guys were saying, you can do anything, man, as long as you wouldn't allow somebody to have access to your mind. You'd be surprised at the things you can do. There's nothing you can do. And that's what they, learn in the Special Forces. And I was just kind of amazed by that. And that's why when I relate a lot of things in my life about just training and working hard every day on everything, and having that desire and that will and that motivation to try to accomplish whatever I'm trying to accomplish. And every time I do that, man, I seem to be able to excel.
Good stuff, Bruiser. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
Anybody else want to add on this icebreaker? I'll move on. Guys, just tuning in. Welcome to King Talk. Make sure we get the likes up. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me get to the super. Oh, we don't have no super chats. Might have been the sports, man. Might have been the sports. Let's next topic. Let's start bashing the women a little bit more. Let's see if we could be pro man. I think that's what might hit. So might get a super chat. We got no super chats on that first topic. Damn. I thought that was
just an icebreaker.
Huh?
It was just an icebreaker.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't use the word.
In all honesty, I think the vaginas kind of dried up after hearing us talk about basketball.
You think that's what it was? Okay.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
So,
concur.
Let me pin men against women, women against men. Hey, Trick, are you taking notes? I'm trying to figure this out. There has to be a formula. We got no super chats.
Damn, we got one now.
Oh shit.
Yeah, never have a whole bunch of dudes sitting around talking about basketball.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I even tried to move it off. I tried to move it off of basketball.
It is absolutely terrible to the
And
women.
then Bruce said, "But Kobe."
I even got a text on my end like, "Oh man, here they go with the basketball."
Shout out to my man's ME. That's what we're gonna call it, ME. They used to call like what's that guy named Marcus Houston? They used to call it MH.
MH.
Come on, man. You gotta pronounce his name right, man. Malevolent.
After what you did on Lapeef last Thursday,
wrong,
you're not reading no more anything. Bruiser had to paraphrase your reading. Okay?
Malevolent elephant. We gotta get it right, y'all. Come on.
My dude couldn't even pronounce the word pronounce.
Oh shit! Damn.
All right.
You can't expect me to take it seriously.
Hey, shout out to ME for that $100, man. Officially the sponsor of the show. Shout out to my baby girl Kelly Connection. 499 says hello. First super chat. Almost. But thank you for the super chat. Who else we got? Kobe Jordan and X 499. Kobe was mentality.
Yeah.
And work ethic. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Jordan. I knew what it was. I thought he was trying to say mentally. But mentality and work ethic. Jordan was skill and talent. Mix them both. You get me in the business world. Shout out to you for that one.
Humble mentality.
Sweeney is on a panel donating. Salute to you, sir. 499 says I got 5 on it, fellas. Showing his age with it, I got 5 on it. Shout out to everybody that has donated. Kelly Connections right here says shout out to Bay. Darn second. Yeah, you were second. But it's all good. We finally got some super chats in. So now let's get to the women bash. We're gonna see who shined tonight.
Jared, did you know you can have guests stream your show as well?
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. Did you know that? It's too late now, but
yeah.
It's not too late.
It is.
He just go to settings.
yeah, just go to guest and then it is a button and then boom, we can actually stream to other people.
All right, I'm gonna look into it when I introduce the next topic.
He don't want to do that. He don't want to do it.
He like, nah.
I said I'm gonna look into it, fellas. I got a lot going on here. I got like 4 screens. If I was to turn my
He
camera
knew how
right,
to do it when they released the features last year. He just don't want to do it.
Okay. Moving on to our next topic. And I hit the like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We got a bunch of comedians on the panel tonight. They even made Cloud laugh, so that just shows you how funny the panel. This is an all-star panel in my Trigger Mike voice. All-star panel. With that being said, Shannon, I'm coming to you first. Filth. I'm just trying to stall until I get this video up. So y'all ain't helping. Y'all ain't working with me. Y'all working against me right now. Men leading, authority, and influence. Men leading, authority, and influence. Let me go ahead and get to this video for you guys right now. Here we go.
You may be in authority, but if you always got to use authority, you're not leading well. You want to influence. See, authority gets you compliance. Influence gets you buy-in, which is what you really want. Authority make people follow. Influence make them want to follow. In the company, you can make them follow because you're paying them.
Right.
Can't make them follow you at home, bro. Right? So leading in the home is, to me, like it's the highest level of leadership, because in order for it to work, you got to be the greatest version of yourself as a leader, because you're dealing with people who know the real you.
All right, there we go. Men leading, authority, and influence. What do you guys thoughts about it? We'll start with Shan first. Go ahead, Shan.
I think it's one of those word salad arguments using the semantics to sound smart. But I mean, to a degree, it makes sense. Authority, he's saying authority, you can have authority, but you need the influence in order to get anything to make anything to happen. Because at work, they're going to do their job because they know they need a paycheck on Friday. But at home, authority don't mean shit if you can't influence. Like, for instance, I'm the head of household. Why? Because I'm the man, right? And you stomping around your house, kicking shit over. But then if you can't influence your children, if you don't have your wife believe in you and anything that you tell her, she got to go hear from somebody else before she actually apply that information, even though you told her the exact same thing the day before. Why? Do you have any influence over your wife? And what if you don't have influence, then what good is the authority? I get what he's saying. And to a degree, I agree with that. You know, now how do you get that influence? Well, do you got to be a gift of gab? Do you got to be a smooth talker? You got to know how to finesse people. You know, that's one way. Other ways is, are you a show improve type of guy? Are you the one that actually don't believe what I'm telling you? Watch what I'm doing. I'm showing you. I'm leading by example. You know, in the military, we call it leading by example, and we lead from the front. You know, captain charges the hill first, and all the soldiers follow behind, as opposed to the captain waiting behind, all the soldiers hiding and kowtowing behind them. It depends. It's a lot of different ways that you can gain influence from people. And I know that's not part of the question, so we won't get into that. But to a degree, I believe with the video. I believe the video. I just, when they use a lot of that talk, I think sometimes, anyways, yeah, I agree with the video. So next guy.
I think when you establish authority is because of your work ethic. When people see you working, it makes them want to kind of like follow your lead. It's almost like you riding down the street and somebody is leaning up against their car with their thumb up like, hey, give me some help. Ain't nobody gonna stop for that person. But if you are riding down the street and you see a guy pushing the car, it will actually promote you to say, oh, damn, let me help this guy, because he's already working. So the authority is literally just you working. So what I try to always do is outwork people, and that brings up the authority side. So when it comes to women want to see what you already have built before she gets there. Because if she waits until she gets there, she's going to take all the credit, and she's almost like she's mommying you or something. She built you or something, you know? So she has the authority because she's going to say she built you or she inspired you to the point where now you working. But if you were working before you meet her, you now can retain the authority because you were doing everything in the beginning, and she comes in her natural state as a helper instead of her having authority over you. So the person that puts in the most work usually has the most authority.
I don't know. I have to push back a little bit on that, Mr. Lego. I kind of see what you're saying, but I don't think people follow work ethic. I think they follow results. You can have all the work ethic in the world, but if you ain't got no results, ain't nobody following you. And I think, and you actually kind of said that a little bit when you said that when it comes to women, they want to see what you've already built. That's the result. Your work ethic is
that's what I was saying. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was the same thing. I think that ain't that what you were saying, Mr. Lego?
Yeah, I was.
He wound up saying it eventually, but yeah.
Yeah, it's one thing about work, and there's another thing about results. So I get what you're saying right there. But yeah, it's about the results. But you got to put in the work in order to get the results. That goes back from the last topic we just did.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna take a little
violence tonight.
I'm gonna take a little bit of Shan and Let Go's answer. Y'all kind of covered most of what I wanted to say, but I'll kind of try to hit it from a different angle. Pause. Consistency and leadership. And this is something we got to talk to our young men about, right? Because when they make an error, they think they're supposed to acquiesce and then start sharing leadership in their woman because they made an error. Do not do that, fellas. Stay the course. Do not let your woman lead at any point. Not 50-50 leadership, not we can do this together. Remain consistent. Fearlessness in leadership is how you get influence. All right. Leadership, especially in the home, is a trial and error exercise. When you make an error, stay the course correct, and see it through. That influence comes from your results. If we get lost somewhere, or if we trying to figure out somewhere, let me find out where we're going to go so then I can learn, so we don't get lost in that area of town anymore. But if you decide which way we need to go and then we get lost, that means that I not only didn't choose the direction we were going, I have to work twice as hard to get us back to where we're supposed to be. So men, always stay the course. You will learn through trial and error what you're supposed to do. The one thing women cannot argue with is results. Just like Mr. Letgo said, they cannot argue with results. Established order of results. Only a fool of a woman would act like she does not see that. And the good thing about it is that no matter if your woman sees it or not, other women do. So she'll smarten up. She'll smarten up. Stay the course.
Go ahead, Luis.
Damn. I think Trigger took a lot of the points that I was going to bring up, but yeah, look, I think it's about, laying out receipts. And laying out receipts is your results. Move through actions and deeds and not word and lip service. And when you have results and you show that consistency throughout, I think that will garner you that authority and that influence over time. But notice that when trying to be in a leadership position, there's always going to be pushback. There's always going to be resistance. People are going to challenge you. People are going to question you. And as long as you don't fold at the seams or buckle, and you stay consistent, those receipts will show up and people will fall in line.
All right. Ali.
I think power is the highest form of authority. So there's a saying I heard before that said knowledge is power. I don't know if y'all ever watched Game of Thrones, but there was a guy, I forgot what the characters were, but there was a scene in the show where a man was saying the man with wisdom had great power. And then the woman said she ordered her soldiers to kill this man, delete this man. And right before they deleted him, she said, stop. She said, no, power is power, not knowledge. So I believe power is order. Order is authority. Authority, whoever has the most authority has the highest influence, unless someone can compromise what the authority is. So I believe, depending on if we live in a society that's moral or a society that's superficial, whoever has the most power in that, whatever way they want to go, has the most authority and the most influence over people.
Ali, so you would prefer power over influence?
No, that the highest form of nature is power. Whoever has the power has the highest authority influence. We're all our lives is conducted by who's in power right now.
Well, power is kind of, isn't power more like the ability to control others, right? Even whether it's by force, by cracking the whip.
Yes.
And influence is kind of predicated upon your ability to have some sort of legitimate
charisma.
Yeah, charisma. We can use.
I'll give you an example. We can sit up on this panel and say the NIGGER word all day long, right? We think we can say whatever we want to say until we say the untouchable word, or if we say the FAGGOT word. So we have liberties. We don't have freedom. The power, the entities that's in power, they have authority, and they can influence. They have influence over us in letting us know what we can say and what we can't say. So this is just liberties we have.
Yeah, and power is. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Power, you have to either take it. It can be created, but you also can take it. Influence is not created. You don't create influence. I think that's it. Like influence is more like a persuasion type of thing. Yeah. So
I'm just wondering which one is more.
I would argue that power is influence.
Like what, Shannon? If Trigger Mike deleted 4 people on the panel, right?
Now I'm a killer.
He's going to have the greatest influence over everyone. That's how the world is operating. Whoever has the most power.
See, but that's my point, Ali. So he's going to have the greatest influence over who? The audience?
People.
Okay, so say for instance he deleted all the old folk, right? Got rid of all the ugly dudes and left the good looking dudes on the screen, right? Let's just say that. Right,
Mike. Really?
My question to you, Ali and Trigger, is he made that happen because he has the power. He has the delete button. He has the control to remove the people he wants. But what if the people that he removed has more influence? Doesn't have the power to push the delete button and remove people off of StreamYard, but he had but those people that he removed had the influence over the people in the audience. And they were to get the people that was watching the show to follow them somewhere else. Which one is more influential? Well, which one is more ultimately powerful?
Power.
The people that have the influence to get the people that's watching the show to go somewhere else, or the one that had the power to delete the ones that had the influence?
Shannon, literally Malcolm
Influence
X,
is power.
Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, the Black Panthers were all wiped out because how powerful their influence was. And this Andrew Tate We can think about what happened to KS.
You got a point there.
If you become too influential, you have to get taken out. You have to be canceled. So you are right. Someone can come into authority. Someone can have more power that becomes more influential. But the powers that are existing,
the
today,
powers that be, you can say
whatever we can say, we'll say, oh, you think you got power? And
they use that delete button, huh?
Right.
Delete. I don't know who Shannon was.
So look, something like this happened today, actually. Hassan Campbell, who had a lot of influence, got his page deleted due to the powers that be. So yeah, you can think you have the power because you got all of this influence.
Hassan got deleted. Hassan from New York. His YouTube is gone.
According to what?
Like Mr. Lego telling you right now.
What does New York got to do with it?
Yeah, what that got to do with it? But the thing about it is, you can turn around and be very influential, but somebody in the background can actually have the power to get rid of the person that is influential.
Same thing.
So it's almost as if influence is a child of power.
Yes.
And if power was Cliff Huxtable, Theo is influence saying, I brought you in this world and I can take your ass out.
Y'all talking about the Matrix?
Yeah,
No,
I get you.
Jesus, you just ruined the whole metaphor, bro. God damn. This thing.
I don't know. Because after that, there becomes
power is absolute.
Listen, I would say influence is actually power. Even like when we talk about, like, for example, use the example of Hassan Campbell with YouTube. The only difference between him and YouTube is YouTube has the power to influence his page. They have the power to influence what happens, who can see his page. They have the power of influence. So at the end of the day, I feel as though influence is power. Now, the difference with influence and authority is the title of power, whereas influence is the actual power. So and history has shown us several times that there can be someone with the title of power that is completely controlled by the influence of power. A perfect example of this is a story I recently saw on YouTube where there was a guy who was like a top tier gang member and he was in the jail, and the jail had gotten a new warden. So he walks in the kitchen to go get a cheeseburger or whatever. He's walking around like, yo, make me a cheeseburger. Everywhere, every door he goes through, somebody just lets him through. They just nod, let him through. They let him through. He gets to the kitchen. They start making his cheeseburger. The warden comes out and the warden's like, what the hell are you doing out here? Like you're not supposed to be getting a cheeseburger. Like, get back in the cell. He's like, and the guy's looking at him like, you don't understand how things work here. Like, I could have you killed right now by anybody in this room. And then when the dude realized what position he was in, he just went back in his office and told him make him 2 cheeseburgers. Because even though the warden was the person who had the authority over the jail, that's just a position that he's in. The person who has the real power is the guy with the influence, the guy who can make one phone call and make one head nod and get you killed.
Absolutely.
Shout out to my guy Andre Norman. I'm proud to say that guy is my brother. So
hold on, Bruce. Real quick. I think influence is only powerful as long as it's protected by power. For example, if you look at the feminism movement, like y'all just said, all these names of men who had their channels stripped away. But we've seen on the very other side of it, a lot of women still got their channels, despite the fact that they're saying the same thing, but towards men. The feminism movement, I said this one day under, I think it might have been Pink Book Lessons post. I said, feminism only works in a world where men are seen as an enemy of women, while women are simultaneously still seen as something that need to be cared for and protected. And then I said, I often ask women, what happens in a world where men begin to equally see women as their adversaries? So as long as feminism can only exist in this world because men still want to protect. And that's how I see it as that's why I see the feminism as it has the most influence in this country right now, but it's protected. Whereas you start saying it's protected by men. Whereas you see people like Kevin Samuels, what the heck is his name? Andrew Tate, all of them getting their channel stripped away because they may have all the influence in the world, but they have no protection.
Well, it's a big difference. This is a big difference. One, the reason why that is because women are children. But the second thing is there's no female Kevin Samuels or no female Andrew Tate. Whether this is brilliant or they don't know what they're doing, is women are like bees. There's not one main woman. There's just a whole bunch of women. I don't like this person. Da, 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 da. It's always one dude that stands up here and says, I'm the person, and next thing you know, here comes the bees. Bzz. It actually happened with the NFAC. If y'all know anything about the NFAC, I was in the NFAC, and the leader of the NFAC kept saying, I'm the leader, I'm the leader. And they got rid of him, and we all fell apart. So yeah, when the person comes out and says, I'm the leader, that actually hurts their influence, because we all know the leader of anything isn't the person with the power. It's the person, like in the Sopranos. Tony Soprano acted like, so Tony Soprano didn't have the power that everybody thought he had. His uncle did, but his uncle was in the background. And the bottom line is, it's important for you to hide your power and give somebody else the influence, so they'll be taken out instead of the actual personal power.
So what you're saying is that the distro is the leader.
Yes.
But the connect
is a figurehead. Like the president, he doesn't have the power, but he has the influence, right? So going back to what Ali said, the person with the influence isn't usually the person with the power. They're like a figurehead.
This is actually pretty funny. Do y'all know what they call people on all the social media? Do you know what they call them? They call them influencers. So the equation has already been solved. Power is the entity, and the workers are the influence.
The workers are the influence.
The workers are the influence. Whoever you decide is the influence. Right. The funny thing is, the algorithm decides who gets the most influence. If they want to shadow ban you, you could be the biggest person on Instagram one day, on YouTube, and then get shadow banned, and your influence goes elsewhere. Right. So the entity is the one with the real power. That's pretty fun.
But I think that's the authority. I think authority fears influence.
But they want us. We're our biggest distractors. They want us to talk. They want us to be all talk. They fine with us getting together to talk, as long as we don't try to take back power. So they allow us to talk about religion. They allow us to talk about men. They allow us to talk about what you did last night. They talk about what you did with your woman, your lady, all these kind of. We can talk about anything as long as we don't take action. They fine with it. As soon as we try to take back power, then there's going to be a problem. So they let them exercise talking.
Because none of those things are protected. None of that. Man ain't protected in these only in those spaces. The religious community ain't protected. The conservative community ain't protected. Nobody's protected except for y'all know the groups that are protected in those spaces.
But it was talking about
why they protected, but look, why they protected? They're protected because of their influence. You see what I'm saying? Like, I think that y'all are trying to separate power and influence, not realizing that it really all depends on what you can influence. They run together. Exactly. It's what you can influence. Yeah. If you can influence the president, then you have more power than the president.
The president don't have power, though.
The president has power to an extent because the president has influence.
No, he's just a figurehead. He ain't got no power.
Just hear me out. Just hear me out. Just hear me out. The president has more power than me or you right now. Like you get what I'm saying? Like if the president walks in a room right now, they're gonna throw our asses out the room to sweep the room. So the president has more power, but there's someone who has power over him. And why is that? Because there's someone who can influence him. So if his wife can influence him, his wife has more power. You understand what I'm saying?
No,
if the CIA can influence him, then the CIA has more power.
I think y'all all saying the same thing.
I disagree.
I think we all agree that there is some chain of command. If you want to have some type of order, there's always a superior above a superior above a superior.
But y'all realize that we were talking about men, and then y'all transitioned to
So let me see if I can bring it back to the fuck was we talking?
We're talking about men leading. And authority and influence.
Remember, I started off with the men and women, and y'all started talking about all this other crazy shit.
I didn't even get my take. I haven't even got a chance to say anything. Y'all
where didn't go?
A Red Bull on today.
Cause you ain't got no power, Bruiser. Get some power.
Talking about power, Bruiser. We were talking about power.
What are you talking about?
So before I got married, I ensured that I qualified for submission. I don't know if any of y'all do that. I mean, this kept my wife from having to depend on whether or not, she would have to look at me as an authoritative figure or influencer or whatever the words you down here. I showed that I was financially disciplined, prior to marriage and even before we cohabitated or whatever. And I gave her an ease of mind and a sense of security in exchange for submission. She sees how consistent I am, which in turn makes her trust me, like undoubtedly. So I don't have to worry about this. Oh, is it a company and you gotta do it because you're getting paid, or you gotta yell, I'm the man in the house. Now, I made sure I nipped that in the butt earlier because I seen it done wrong so many ways. I was like, I'm not gonna go through that. If you don't want to get down with my program, we don't have to take the next step.
But isn't that somewhat the same thing, Bruiser? It's just that she doesn't have to pay anything versus getting paid from a job. It's still the absence of either the money or having to work.
Hello,
It's
motherfucker.
both. Like you can have authority and influence, whether if you're at work or even if you're in your household,
in your home. Yeah, it's same thing.
But I was agreeing with Shan was saying is that it was a lot of word salad. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because if you are operating in the position as a husband, she chose you because she trusted your authority. Now that's the reason why she chose you from the jump, right? There you can talk about the other things if you want to once the marriage is carrying out, right? But in the beginning, she respects your influence and your authority for the most part, right? And then when you go to work, it's the same thing. You know, you respect the authority of your boss, and he or she has the influence to make you do what it is that you're supposed to do. So what he said made sense already. He just said something that he thought that was very captivating in my estimation. But authority and influence work hand in hand, regardless of if you are in if you're in the household or if you're at work.
And that's one point I was making, because regardless if you look at it any way y'all try to put it, you go to work, you go in there because you're getting something in return that you need or that you want. And you do the same thing when you in the household with your husband or wife. It's work. And I bet you everybody can vouch that if you ever been married, it is work. And you're working towards something, and you're actually getting something in return for your time and your effort. That's why it's so harder to walk away from a marriage that you've been invested in for 10, 15, 20 years. You've been invested all this time and stuff into a person. You don't just easily walk away. But if you've been with somebody for maybe a week or two or a month, it's really easy to just step away. You don't really have much invested in.
All right. Anybody else want to speak on this topic? Once, twice.
Quick night, shit.
Nah,
I got something to say. I'm just joking.
I knew that motherfucker.
If you guys just tuning in, welcome to King Talk. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to all my green gang that's in the chat. Let me go ahead and get to these super chats. I did that one already. Too. The Real Precious, she super chatted $9.99. Appreciate that, Precious. Salute to you. Kobe Jordan again, $4.99 said, that's a fact, let go. I also sold cars, and my first day I sold 3. I said I was new for 2 years. It worked out well. My last week I sold -2. Career over. I heard about that. I think if you don't sell no cars, you get the boot, right? Let go.
Oh yeah, if you don't sell no cars, you don't get paid. It's straight commission. You gotta get out there and push your ass.
That's why you YouTube, huh?
Just like YouTube.
No, I'm saying that's why you a YouTuber, because you wasn't able to sell them cars.
Indra Siobhan 199 says, greeting Kangs. I thank everybody that has donated to the channel. Appreciate all the support. Moving on to our next topic. Hit the like button. Also make sure you subscribe to the channel. Our next topic of the night is, has Jesus been feminized? Has Jesus been feminized?
This concept that really exists is called the feminization of Jesus. And it's really whitewashing, but the feminization of him is like a consequence of that, right? So this is what we know. He's a Middle Eastern Palestinian Jew. There is no Middle Eastern Palestinian Jew with blonde hair down to his back and, white, rosy cheeks. And this is what we know historically. He's a carpenter. He was a carpenter until 30. So he's picking up wood. He's swinging a hammer. He's got calluses on his hand, dirt underneath his fingernail. When have you ever seen a portrayal of of him like that. You have not.
It's always freshly manicured, little makeup on, like you said, the cheeks.
100%.
Long flowing.
So there is a presentation of the founder of the faith that is just, let's not even get into theology, just historically inaccurate. And as a result of that inaccuracy, he is now unrelatable and not as appealing to a masculine man.
Facts.
Facts.
Oh, here, Trigger Mike say facts. Clout Jones. Well, let's speak on the Trigger Mike. Go ahead, kick it off.
All right, so that's a very interesting take on it. Feminization of Jesus. Absolutely, he's 100% spot on. It does have a lot to do with the whitewashing, but it also has a lot to do with Western culture in general. So one of the things I heard Andrew Tate say once is that if he could come back and do his religion all over, he would actually be someone who followed Islam. And one of the reasons I kind of agree with that is because I've seen people with shirts on that said Jesus is G-A-Y. Like, meaning I am, so I want him to be. That is exactly what they're saying. That's the feminization of Jesus. There's no way you can understand the Bible in any context and say that the Son of God is that, right? Now imagine, flip that and say, imagine walking down the street in the Middle East with a shirt that said, Allah is G-A-Y. Would you make it to the end of the street?
Boom,
they would stomp you out, right? Because one of the things about especially masculinity has such a close synonymous relationship with seriousness, right? The way people take things serious and guide themselves by it and follow it by doctrine has always been closely synonymous with masculinity. That is why men lead the family. All right. So naturally, if you look at the communities where men aren't in the home and they're not leading the family, you have this laissez-faire attitude, this, just not taking things serious as you should. That is what I believe they mean by feminization of Jesus, because if we allow, if I'm not mistaken, black men don't really go to church anymore, right? And that's when you see Jesus taken to all of these different extremes. He could be anything. He's not just one thing anymore. So they've lost the seriousness about the religion simply because the men have retreated from it. So that's what I got.
I always look at the feminization of Jesus by just him being up on a cross. And even as a kid, my mom would take me to church, and I used to be like, yo, mom, why they got this dude just up on the cross? Like, what is this? And she's like, that's Jesus. But in my young mind, I'm like, but he doesn't look, I didn't say he doesn't look powerful, but I was just like, he looks weak. I don't remember what I said, but I was just like, why is the person that we're supposed to be praying to looking so, I don't want to say D-E-A-D, I don't want to say that, but yeah, why does he look so vulnerable? Like this, I don't want to be here. And I never got into church, mainly because I don't want to go to church and be in front of some dead white dude. It didn't make sense to me. Like if I want to pray to somebody, it needs to be a figure of power, not somebody looking like that. And I just never understood that. So yeah, I'm not going to say G-A-Y, but D-E-A-D is the same thing. Yeah. So yeah, I agree.
Well,
it was weird.
That was supposed to be representative as a sacrifice. That's what that was. It was symbolic for a sacrifice.
It was still a weakness, though, to me.
It's not a weakness if you sacrifice yourself. That's like the ultimate showing of strength. If you sacrifice yourself for something,
not to me.
If you sacrifice yourself for something bigger than yourself, so if you would consider yourself weak if you sacrifice yourself for your daughter,
you would see my daughter up there powerful because I died.
Whoa, shit.
You wouldn't see me up there
your
dead.
Daughter on the cross?
You would see whatever it is that I protected my daughter, that thing would be dead. You would see her up there striving for whatever it is that she is able to get due to the fact that I'm dead. Hell no. She would be up there.
You just flipped that all the way around, man. That was not
No,
what you
I
said
don't
at
want to
first.
see no damn dead person, and that don't mean that doesn't symbolize power to me. No, it
You
was
said you
some
would
dumb
have your
shit.
daughter. You would have your daughter take up the cross before you.
No, I'm saying you would see whatever it is that my daughter accomplished due to me being dead, not me being up there dead.
Well, listen, if you look at Jesus,
Well, you wouldn't be the one making the statue.
All I'm saying is you asked me a question, and the symbolization would not be me being up there dead that I sacrificed for my daughter. It would be my daughter striving because I gave up my life for her.
So it'll say, "Here I stand."
From college or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, something like that.
It'll say, "Here I stand in all my power because my daddy sacrificed his life for me."
Yes, it would be that. And that would be a better symbolism, in my opinion. My daddy sacrificed for me, therefore I am this whatever.
I'm not the only one confused here, am I?
Well, I think the issue is that there's a misunderstanding of what it represents. You know what I'm saying?
And I was a child.
It's okay. You're an adult now, so you have an opportunity to go. You still have the same thought process now. So
you say he with that?
He still had the same thought process.
No, like you said,
not really. I have a different thought. I understand. I was literally explaining how I felt as a child, but at the end of the day,
you said, right, that's where you at now, though. Too. You said that's why I don't. And I could be wrong, but that's what it sounded like you said.
Well, at the end of the day, it still looks like there's a vulnerability that is in front of us and not a symbol of power. I'm saying now I understand why it's like that, but I still feel the same way, but I understand it better now.
Okay. That's what I just said. I said you still feel the same way. And I said that's the thing that is the misguidedness of it, because as far as Jesus being feminized, yes, he has been in my estimation, but however, it's not just Western culture that paints him in a particular picture. I mean, you can Google and see that whatever culture that they're in, he's painted in a particular fashion that represents whatever culture that is, and so that's a level of ignorance that many people have, and so that's why it's important for you to study, what I'm saying, and not just well out and just say what it is that you're saying, like with the crucifixion. I mean, it's a symbol of that, as what Sweeney says. If you understood that the Romans, what they did to people, I mean, that was a gruesome thing. So you see the cross, right? But everything that went into him having to be on the cross is something that you or I probably wouldn't even be able to do. Okay, so that's a level of strength in itself, because most people die before they even get to be on the cross, because of the torture that was that happened before. And so if people understood that particular premise of why it's a symbolism of the crucifixion, then you would see that part is not feminized. So I think people, when they talk about Jesus, just need to study a little bit more and not just talk on something that they feel like.
Well, I'm looking at the symbolism of it, like I said, because if Jesus died and arose, show him after he arose.
So, I hear what you brothers are saying. My only issue, I guess maybe my only issue with what this brother said in this video is that he's giving me the impression that he's saying that this is something new, and I think that's what Humble Dad was getting ready to touch on. You see, Jesus has had blonde hair and blue eyes for centuries. The conventional image of him with a full beard came around 300 years after he died, and the blue eyes came around the 6th century. You guys have all seen The Last Supper. That was my first movie I ever shot, by the way. I shot a movie as a director and a producer in 2004, and I called it, the name of the movie was Matthew 26:17, which is Sermon on the Mount. So we built the set, we built The Last Supper, and I hired it was just 20 years ago. I hired some actors and actresses, and I had some cameras, and I shot me a short film called Matthew 26:17 to depict what happened up in the upper room, as they called it. But in studying to shoot that movie when I was 30 years old, 28 years old or something like that, I realized that, man, they had white Jesus with the blue eyes and the blonde hair for hundreds of years. Michelangelo's Last Judgment, that's in the Sistine Chapel. got him looking like what this brother's talking about in this video. So when we say, has Jesus been feminized? Are we? It's given the impression that he's saying is that this is what happened in the last 100 years since the help me out with the word. I'm having a brain fart.
You talking about feminism?
Feminism movement. It's way before that. So now, was he feminized back then during the, when Vikings was fighting and shit, and when the motherfuckers didn't have no electricity, everybody was riding horses. There was no tampons and no television and iPhones. I mean, and everybody had to eat off the land, and there was no, AC and heat and toilet and running water. You gotta ask yourself, was it feminized then, or was it just depicted differently? And then that's just what they gave him. Did they want to make him like a woman, and was it women that did it? Because I don't think, because I'm getting the impression in the video that they're making it seem like women had some control over this.
It's Leonardo.
I'm not necessarily adopting that idea personally.
I think it was Leonardo da Vinci who actually painted the picture. I think he was painting, if I'm not mistaken, he was painting the picture of a woman. And I think during the painting, they asked him to change it or modify it to look like Jesus. I could be wrong. I
don't know the history. You might absolutely right.
Yeah, so Jesus has this is my opinion. Jesus has not been feminized. His image, his will, in which he has, he asks us to walk in, that has been feminized. His image has been misrepresented. The image represents whatever nation superior race it is displayed in. Jesus teaches in his sacrifice is what's actually keeping us in grace while we continue to sin. So there's no way that you can touch. Nobody can touch. I don't care what people say or do. Nothing can touch that.
What Bible did y'all read? I'm curious because in the Old Testament, Jesus came with the sword. He didn't come with peace. And the Bible was only for a certain set of people. Not only that, if you broke one sin, you broke all of them, and you were going to hell. Not only that, there's a whole bunch of laws y'all could just look up to where if you broke any of those laws, even if a son was stubborn and didn't listen to his mother and father, you could take him in front of all the people and get him stoned. There's a whole lot of reasons for why you can get stoned back then.
I think you talk about the New Testament.
No, hold on. No.
I mean the Old Testament, my bad.
The Old Testament, if you broke any law, you broke them all, and you would be severely punished. Even if you got someone to try to worship another
that's
God.
The Old Testament. There's a new covenant.
Even if you found out a woman was a virgin. No, let me finish, Bruiser. It was extremely strict. So by it being feminized, the New Testament said that you can do whatever you want to do, and that Jesus died for your sins. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you worship Jesus, saw Jesus. Hold on, let me finish, and we can look up. I'm deep in the Bible too. We can say that, but because a lot of people saying stuff that's not in the Bible. Jesus, all you had to do was accept Jesus as God's son and love thy neighbor. That's the new law. That's the new law. Those two laws, and you can do whatever you want to do. That's the truth. Back then, you couldn't do whatever you want to do, and we can have a whole live on this. I got full books of it. My phone is full of the Bible verses and just breaking down Bible verses. Jesus became feminized by allowing people to do whatever they want to do. Soon, the LGBT movement, all these other feminist and doctrines or whatever agenda they pushing is going to be in that book. I promise you, they're going to put it in that book because we can't call up the people in this nation. That's why a lot of people are converting, especially a lot of white men are converting to Islam because new Christianity is so lenient. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you accept Jesus Christ as your savior. And you have homosexual preachers. You have women who are preachers. And in the Bible, women couldn't be preachers. Let's keep it real. We're saying what we feel instead of saying what's real.
So I wouldn't necessarily. Now I don't know much. You know what I mean? I don't read the Bible that much myself, but wouldn't that be more based on people's loose interpretation of the Bible rather than what the Bible actually says?
Absolutely.
No. Oh, you're talking about current people, right?
Yeah, it's their interpretation, not necessarily what it's saying.
Right, because to be feminized something would be inducing the sexual characteristics of women. It's making it like women.
That's what I was saying about the T-shirts and changing Jesus into a character. So basically mischaracterizing what the people are mischaracterizing what the Bible said. They're not actually changing anything in the Bible. That was what I was saying.
But the Bible did it before people did it. That's why you have the Old Testament. That's why you have the New Testament.
Yeah, I think he broke that down. Down.
There was no Jesus. In the New Testament, there became a Jesus. Jews don't believe in Jesus Christ.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's not true.
They don't believe that he's a savior.
Let me finish. The Jesus Christ that's in the New Testament, they don't believe in that Jesus. They believe that Jesus is supposed to come back. That Jesus never came back to Jews. Jews do not believe in the Christian doctrine. They don't.
That's not true.
Okay.
They don't believe he's the Messiah.
Because there's I think it's there are now when you say that, when you're saying Jews, you're saying inclusive, right? You're saying all Jews, right? That's what you're saying.
They believe
and
in
I'm saying
Torah.
that,
They believe in it. They don't believe in. There's only one.
And I'm telling you that is the case for some Jews, right? And we can even say most, but there are Jews that do believe in Christ, right? So Jews, you can go look that up for yourself.
The new Jews.
That's not a nuance. It is a nuance.
Old Jews don't believe in Jesus. Humble Dad, we can Google it.
You got to take
Humble Dad.
Yeah,
Humble Dad.
Further. You got to take a step further when you talk about what you believe in, because you can say you believe in, but then there's a religion or there's a belief that he wasn't the Christ.
Yeah, Judaism does not believe that he was a divine being. Period.
Okay, and that's fair. But I'm asking, do you know that Jesus was Jew though?
No, I understand that, but see,
okay,
when Ali says that he doesn't believe, that Jews don't believe in Jesus, they believe that he walked. They believe that he was a man. They just think he was a man. There's what it is Judaism does not believe that he was a divine being.
Right.
That's
he
fair.
was not.
And I agree. And I was saying that I was agreeing with that part.
Just like Islam believed that he was just a prophet. He wasn't.
It was just yeah.
I was saying that I was agreeing with that. There are some Jews that do not believe, and there are Jews that are. You can go look it up.
Right? But we gotta make sure we get an understanding about sacrifice and feminize.
That's fair.
Sacrifices were made in the Old Testament. They used animals and all that stuff, and they took them to the altar. But when Jesus came, God sent his only son, so you wouldn't have to do that anymore. It was over. He was the ultimate sacrifice. So you no longer had to go and sacrifice any lamb or cow or whatever. Your sins were covered. So long as you believe that he was Christ, and he died for your sin, and you confess it, and you genuinely accept it in your heart, and you would be saved. And nobody could take that away from you. But see, back in the Old Testament, you could go sacrifice a lamb, and then you could sin tomorrow, and you would have to keep going to sacrifice it. It was a redundance that had to be taken care of. And God saw that. So he's like, look, I'm going to send them my son to die on the cross. He's going to sacrifice, and the blood is going to cover you all for the rest of your life, for eternity. And as long as you believe in him and you accept him as Christ, your savior, you're covered. You're covered by the grace of God.
And it doesn't say that. And it doesn't say that like you're saying was Ali, you said that there's a past. There is no past, because Jesus even in the New Testament says that, in the Old Testament it talked about, if you looked at a woman, New Testament is if you even look upon a woman in a lustful fashion, you have committed sin, right? So he even came and made it even tougher as opposed to what it was in the Old Testament, as well as he said, if you hate your brother, like you're in sin. Okay, so it's a situation in which that I hear what you're saying, but as it relates to the scripture, you look at Paul. Paul was a dude that was nothing feminine about him. You know what I'm saying? Like he wrote 13 books talking about his walk and how he had to sacrifice on a regular basis just because he believed in Christ, right? So you can't just do anything. Right, because it also says faith. Faith without works is dead. So there's a combination of things that have to be happening in order to be a follower of Christ. What you are seeing is that there are people that are saying that they are believers, right, and they're Christians, but they're not actually carrying out what the Bible is saying, and so it gives it a bad name. No different than when we talk about men. Like there are men and then there are boys, right? There are males out here portraying as if they are men, when in actuality they're not living out the characteristics of what we would deem is a man. And so that's what I'm saying to you, that as it relates to Christianity, the Bible is what it is. People just interpret it however they want to instead of actually studying it.
And that's what majority of people do. I agree. So I would respectfully disagree with both of you again. In the Old Testament, Isaiah 43:11, I read this book back front and back. Isaiah 43:11, y'all can Google it. Even I am the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. Paul wrote that in the New Testament. They added that. And I can bring you up other verses. I just know it by heart. I can't know the verse by heart, but I know God said no one shall add to this book when he wrote the Old Testament. When Paul came, then he said only he should add to this book, and then no one should add to this book. But Old Testament is not the same as the New Testament. They're separate books that was combined. There's a whole bunch of books that was taken from other books and put in that books. We can, like I said, all of us as brothers, if we want to really have a conversation about this, we can do it in the back. And we can bring this back up.
No,
a lot of us are saying
we have a conversation right here because
no, it's so much. No, what I'm saying,
we turn it into a Bible study, bro.
If you look at the Old Testament, there's scriptures in the Old Testament.
You didn't answer that, Bruiser.
No, I'm saying this whole.
Address
y'all
that
trailing. I want to get my point in before y'all trailing.
Hold on, brother. Hold on, y'all. I, even the Lord, and beside me there is no Savior. That's the Old Testament. There's no one that was coming to save anybody.
But listen, if you go back in Isaiah in that same book and you look at chapter 7:14, it says, "Therefore the Lord himself will give you a sign. The virgin will conceive and birth a son and will call him Emmanuel." There's scriptures that happen in the Old Testament that told you about the forthcoming of Christ and before the New Testament even happened.
Is his name Jesus for real?
Yeah, yes.
No, it's not. The letter J didn't exist back then.
I'm just saying. Listen.
No, y'all got. Listen, that's what I'm saying.
No, we understand. It was
no
English back then. We understand that.
Hold on. Like
Come on, Bruiser.
Yeah, this is
the vaginas are drying up all over again for the second time.
JR, one verse.
Think about the vaginas, y'all. The vaginas.
I really think we should have a discussion on this.
Right, but there's one verse I want to say in particular. It said, "No man shall know the beginning or the end. There should be no Genesis, nor should there be any revelations," because it said no man shall know the beginning or the end.
Think about the vaginas, y'all. Just think about that.
I want to just add something to what Ali was saying real quick, because I'm inclined to kind of agree with him a little bit.
As far as what?
That is a sin, by the way. That is a sin.
What's
to agree? To agree with Ali?
All right, yeah, I'm inclined to agree with him because a little bit, but not so much. I feel like it's not so much the appearance that's responsible for the feminization of Jesus, and I feel like it's more so the branding. I feel like because, in the New Testament, there's so much talk of love, and I feel as though people zoom in and focus on Jesus's doctrine of love, and they use that to like they use it and make it real feminine. Like they make it about all of us getting together and having a good time and being kind and nice. But if you really look at Jesus in the Bible, like Ali said, he said, I didn't come to bring peace, but a sword. There's multiple examples of the Bible of Jesus, quite frankly, fucking shit up. Like, for example, when they was changing money in the church, he went in there, called them a den of vipers and started smashing shit. So it's like, we get this idea of Jesus that he's this nice, friendly, hippie loving guy with long flowing hair. And he just wants to lay down with you in green pastures with sheep and shit like that. But really, he's more like the shepherd swinging his staff, busting people upside the head, trying to get them right. And there's countless examples of that in the Bible. Even, for example, with his mom. When he was 12 years old, his mom tried to call him for whatever reason. He's like, "Yo, woman, I'm about my father's business. Like, don't be calling me. I got shit to do." You know what I'm saying? So I feel like if you really look, Jesus was a G. Like, if you really read the Bible, you know what I'm saying? He was a G. He wasn't nothing sweet, nothing soft about him. But we've turned him into this nice, friendly guy because he talks about love. And even Jesus said, when it comes to love, he said, open rebuke is better than secret love. Like, Jesus was more about nipping shit in the bud and handling it, not about all this friendly, cuddly, kumbaya shit.
Not only that, it says God is a man of war. One of the laws is thou shalt not kill. God killed everybody almost everybody in the beginning of the book. Paul killed. Moses killed. Come on, y'all. Like it's so many.
I think you're conflating what was going on.
Killing all the people. Killing majority of
what I'm saying is if somebody does something that they don't supposed to do, then there's a punishment. And what you're saying is God just killed people. And if you read your Bible like you say you do, that's not what he did. He didn't just kill people to be killing people.
What? He did kill people just to be killing people. All them people weren't breaking laws. He killed everybody except for Noah and his kids and the wives he picked and 2 of each animal. Y'all, did we read the same books?
And then if you go read it again, it will give you the reason on why there was a flood, because of their disobedience. Right.
But God created evil, correct?
Did God create you? Now you're asking a different question.
No, I'm asking, did God create evil?
Why?
Out the Bible.
Yes, he said so.
You went to a different
y'all
question.
picking and choosing verses, man.
I didn't pick a verse. I went with what you said, right? You said that he killed people, and I said there was reasons were because of disobedience. If you literally go read it, it was because of it. He didn't just wipe out the earth just because he wanted to. That's not what happened.
But Dad, I'll say it again. In Isaiah, he said, Isaiah 45:7, I formed the light, I create the darkness, I make peace, and I create evil. I the Lord, do all these things. No, he did it.
Okay. I haven't disagreed or anything with you. Right. So my statement is to you, though. I think
y'all.
I think you have a particular perspective, right? And that's cool. I'm saying to you, though,
that's why
when you just say that God killed people without any context, then that's disingenuous, right? Because that's not what he did. And then if you talk about it in the New Testament,
he changed his mind.
Would you say that?
He changed his mind. In the first testament, he killed everybody for breaking his laws. In the second one, he changed his mind and said, "You know what? To keep from killing y'all, I'm just gonna sacrifice Jesus. I sacrifice Jesus."
That's cool.
You know what? And I also heard that Jesus.
Let's talk about Kobe.
I also heard that Jesus is about to get child support ruled unconstitutional. Did y'all hear about that?
Jesus was a stepdaddy, but Jesus was a stepdaddy too.
Yeah,
he was a stepdaddy.
Child support. Yeah, let's talk about child support. Yeah, child support.
If you guys just tuned in, welcome to King Talk. Make sure you hit the like button. Also, make sure.
Listen, just because you don't have nothing to say to it, don't mean we can't talk about it. Because you can't add nothing to it.
Yeah, we having a great conversation.
You can't add to the conversation.
Pull up your phone, pull up the stream, and look at how many vaginas went dry.
I think you're on with that discussion.
Vaginas are dry,
and Clout seemed like he wants to join in on that conversation.
Some things I'm just not qualified to talk about.
Listen, you brought up the topic about Jesus. Like you can't.
I know I did.
Exactly.
Jesus said, if you talk about Jesus too much, vaginas will dry.
I didn't know y'all knew Jesus like that.
God,
I know my boy became a Hebrew Israelite, and I was wondering what happened. So I got into the Bible.
And he's still talking. JR, next
time. Hey, if you guys are tuning in, welcome to King Talk.
Don't do that, let go.
Make sure you guys hit the like button.
Don't do that, let go.
Subscribe to the channel.
Come on, let go.
Let me go ahead and get to the super chats.
Yeah, y'all don't get no poom poom. Sheesh.
All right, this one is from Chicago. Don C says, shout out to the Lapeef Network for reaching 100K subs. Appreciate that, sir. You gotta speak into existence, y'all. I know it ain't that yet, but you gotta speak into this. Words are powerful. So shout out to Kelly. You told me words are powerful. So speaking into existence, 100K. Y'all didn't get it. It was really like a joke. I think Shan the only one kind of smirking over there. Cloud came with a delayed smirk, but
filth.
Yeah. Anyhow, we did have one super chat. Arthur Parker, $5. You, sir.
No super chats about Jesus or the Old Testament? Wow, okay.
It's been kind of long super chat.
Who would have thunk it?
Wow, that's interesting.
With that being said, let's go ahead and get into the meat of the conversation. And we know the ladies like meat. Main topic of the night. There are some women that you will never be that guy to. There are some women that you would never be that guy to. We're going to play this clip.
Some women that you will never be that guy to.
That's a fact. It's a fact.
No matter what you do, you will never be that guy, and you'll try to force it, you'll try to make it work, but when you know and you've experienced a woman where you're that guy to her, she really admires you, you know what it feels like. And I think a lot of times for guys, especially because we might get caught up in a beauty component or whatever it is, we're trying to prove love that's not being reciprocated. right? And we're putting maximum effort, and then there's a guy on the other side who's putting minimum effort and getting maximum results.
Yes, for sure.
Right? Like, bro, you done took her out, you done flew with the Turks.
Good morning,
bro.
The good morning.
All this, and there's a guy at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
What you doing?
Yep. You up?
Eyes. If men could really just realize that part, it would help them a lot, and they wouldn't gear towards relationships or women who aren't necessarily for them. And that's where I think the bitterness comes from men.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like, bro, you should have seen the signs early. She wasn't reciprocating. She was calling you out your name.
Look how she talks to her family.
You can't feel bad, right? Because everybody's not for everybody.
That's true.
You have to learn and understand, like, okay, this is not it. Let me move on. But some guys, they will stay in that situation trying to make it work. I would rather be the guy hitting up at 11 p.m. versus the guy trying to take on multiple dates, spending money, doing all these things, trying to impress her, and I'm getting nowhere and getting limited results.
There are some women that you will never be that guy to. I'm gonna go ahead and go to Luis and then Bruiser next. What are your thoughts, Luis?
I agree. I've walked in that same effort where you put that kind of consistency and you notice that they're not really reciprocating in that same light. So regardless of how much you spend in time, money, resources, or even effort, you'll never be that guy, because her image and idea of what she sees for you, you just don't fit that criteria or that bill, and it's just better to kind of cut your losses and walk away, as opposed to kind of a lot of us tend to kind of dwell in our ego. You're like, well, I'm gonna do a little bit more, but I'm gonna make her see me in this kind of light, and that could be further from the truth, man. I mean, I think the more effort that you put in after she's already gave you the cold shoulder, the more she's repulsed by you, the less respect she has for you, because you inherently did not pay attention that she had already struck a boundary that she will ever let you in.
All right, let me go to Bruiser then, Shan.
So, you got to be careful, because a lot of these women lack appreciation and respect. Now, you got to vet her to the point whether you've had a conversation with her mother and father to see if she has character and morals. I mean, if her parents weren't available to show her any representation of appreciation and respect, you can. It's likely that you can look for her to express character and morals in this type of fashion. It's just sad that women are doing that to these men, coming off as if they're using a man instead of just having some integrity. And like, hey, look, man, you're not the guy for me. I'm not really interested in you. So that's what I'm gonna teach my daughter. Like, don't waste a man's time. This man's trying to pour into you with his resources, and you already know that you're not gonna take him serious or go to the next level with him. Just move on. It's not worth it.
Ooh, that's gonna be an uphill battle teaching her that, because you're gonna be fighting against the government. You're gonna be fighting against society, social media, all her homegirls, all the aunties, the grandmas, and the mamas, and all.
Government don't have no dick.
You're gonna be fighting, boy. But shout out to the fathers that will teach their daughters the things that Bruiser said he's gonna be teaching his. Listen, this conversation is about simping. That's all it is. There are some women that you will never be that guy to. This is simping 101, from the old simps to the new simps. And as I tell you guys, I should have made jackets, because I was the president of the simp club. You got guys that are current
What
simps.
are you talking about?
And simps in the making. This message is for you. You will never be that guy to her. It doesn't matter. Now, what Bruiser was saying is, you have to learn how to recognize when you're not going to be that guy to her, because they are clever, boy. They are some women and men, and they're taught this, how to be clever, to use you for what you got to get what they want. And that's part of the conversations that we're having today, to let guys realize, to recognize the signs so they don't waste their time. Now, women, they don't need to waste their time as well, because, you know, to be honest with you, they're the ones that's losing ultimately. But for the short-term gains, for the gains in their 20s and they're young, that's where they're coming up. They're just falling apart after they get, you know, later on in life. Yeah, you're not gonna be him to her, because she got the guy that she's gonna call and give everything to, and he put in little to zero effort to get everything that you've been spending your money and your time. I remember, man, there was a girl that would club. This is late 90s, early 2000s. I wanted her so bad. I wanted this chick so bad, dog. And she knew I wanted her bad too. And I had zero. In my mind, I'm thinking I'm doing everything that the songs is teaching me. Remember, we had the conversation about R&B music. So I'm doing everything that Drew Hill is telling me, and that 112 is telling me, and that Boyz II Men is telling me. I'm doing everything that Teddy Riley is telling me. I'm doing everything that Cisco is. I'm doing everything that all these songs is telling me to do. And so she would come home, she would party in Hollywood. Then she come home and she say, Shan, I'm so thirsty. And I get my black ass up and go to 7-Eleven, get her a pint of ice cream and a soda and deliver it to her house. Never touched the pussy. Beta. I couldn't, you know, but I didn't know. I had no guidance. And and mind you, this is when I was getting all kinds of pussy, but it wasn't the pussy that I wanted her. I wanted that girl. It wasn't about the other chicks that was on me and the women that were eating. It wasn't about them. It was about that one that I wanted that didn't want me. And if I would have had any kind of guidance, if I would have had a king talk 25 years ago, when I was 25 years old, I'd be way better off in my dating and mating experience than I am today. But I didn't have that. So I had to skin up my knees, burn myself on the fire to realize it's hot to get to where I am now. And that's what we're trying to teach these young men, bruh. There's a better way. Bruh. Tap into King Talk. Listen to Mr. Let Go. Listen to Humble Dad.
I don't think the father will have an uphill battle. Honestly. I don't think it would. I don't give a damn about the government, society or not. If you tell your daughters that you're gonna cover them until they get established and married, I don't think they'll risk losing that over making stupid mistakes or making dumb decisions.
Bruce.
That's a fact.
No, that's not a fact.
That is a fact. I got a daughter. I got 2 daughters. What are you talking about? It's a whole fact.
Goodness, man. Y'all. All of us, what Shannon talking about is a lot of our stories, man. A lot of us on the panel, I'm sure, try to save women from themselves. And a lot of us failed at it. Why are we saying that? So even no matter how influential a father is, you hope to God that daughter goes, it listens to your influence and stays with you. Majority of women didn't even listen to their fathers. Let's keep it real.
That's not true.
Them girls we were smashing in high school.
That's not true, bro.
It ain't true.
Ali, you know that most women didn't have their fathers.
They didn't have their fathers.
And so the information that's out there is that you need your father so you make less of a bad decision.
Right.
Okay.
So you're
your father is like my kid is I'm in my kid's life and they listen to me. They're not perfect. You know, they still do stupid shit, but they always come back to me and apologize to me, Daddy, I know, da 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 da. So at the end of the day, when it comes to a man, that man has to live up to my requirements, not even her requirements, my requirements.
Right. I'm asking you brothers not to personalize it. All three.
I'm not personalizing it. I'm giving you data.
Right. What data?
That's even data. Data does.
Data says that if the father is in the house, if the father is in the house, right, that the child, period, boy or girl, are more likely to not make those decisions that you're talking
not
about.
As many decisions.
I agree.
Yeah.
They're way more influential, but that does not mean that they're going to listen to that father.
Come on, man.
You're talking about the exception.
You just agreed and then disagreed.
No,
they
not. See, this is, you know what?
Enough.
This is why ego messes us up in the community, because on one hand, we think that men are just going to be able to raise kings and queens. But then we don't look at the fact that we're talking about power and how influential it is on our kids. And when our kids walk out the door,
father is the person
let me
of
finish. Let go.
power.
Please don't do that today. I don't cut you off. Don't do that today. Come on, man. Let me finish. Because you mess up. I don't mess up your. When our kids walk out the door, the power is influencing them extremely. So it don't matter how hard you having an influence over your kids. That outside influence is having a great impact on them, especially the future generations. That don't take away from how great our fathers y'all may be. All I'm saying is that the outside influence is having a drastic influence, not only on women, but on men too. We chasing two separate things. Most men chasing what Shan talking about too. We thought there's all these women. We were simping. We were treating women like queens. Brothers now grow up 30, 40 years old talking about make women submit, but the fathers are teaching their daughters that the man better do everything for you. There's so many contradictions in our philosophy.
Can I ask you this? I'm interrupting in the point that you're making. I'm saying in the point. I want to ask you based on what you said right there.
Ali.
What you're saying right there, Ali.
Everybody on here long-winded. Go ahead.
No. I'm saying that particular point.
I got you.
That where are you pulling your information from? Because when we say data, you say no. So where are you pulling your information from?
From our experiences, whether it's a young
just
girl,
told us not to use our experience.
My goodness. No, I didn't. I said don't make it just personal. But you hold on. You realize that's three of you didn't cut me off, and I'll take yours as respectful because you said interject. Bruiser, you didn't cut me off.
Okay, pardon me. Part of my interruption.
Let's not get. Come on, man.
Part of my interruption, Ali. You keep saying
no, I'm not.
Part of my interruption also.
Part of my interruption don't even.
For the exception for Humble Dad, who's pushing marriages, Bruiser and Let Go, y'all content is talking about women who go against what men are saying.
Because women are children, but when they are up on their dad is their child.
What demographic of women am I talking about?
It goes right in congruent.
Y'all act like children listen all the time, bro. Y'all acting like children always listen. They don't. That's the point that Ali's making. You could be the father. You could be the father and be as bossed up as you want. That don't mean your kids are gonna listen to you, bro. Like I don't know why we're acting like that. Like children don't disobey. Like, bro, we were all in high school sneaking into girls' houses.
And none of us had dads. We didn't have dads.
What are you talking about? I was smashing girls with dads. We were sneaking into their cribs.
Mr. Lego, hold on, wait, fellas.
Hold
on, fellas. Mr. Lego, did your daughters live with you?
Teenagers rebel.
What'd you say?
Did your daughters live with you?
Yes.
Okay.
He don't. My first girlfriend.
My daughters moved out the house and moved.
I'm gonna interrupt now. My first girlfriend in high school. Her father sat me down and said, "Please respect my daughter, man. Don't touch her. Don't do anything." You know what his daughter kept trying to do with me? Try to get me to touch it. The whole time, and that's almost all my experiences with certain girls was with girls who had fathers at that time. Y'all, we grew up in a generation where fathers were there. Y'all talking about this current generation.
Ali,
can I ask Ali? We're saying the girls don't go too far away, is what I was saying.
Y'all are being egotistical.
Y'all can't keep asking him questions. He's not.
Y'all are saying that if a father is great, a daughter is not going to go away from his teaching. And
I'm not saying that.
Ali is giving me a headache.
That's not what I'm saying, Ali. Okay, maybe they are, but what I'm saying to you is two things. You told us not to use our anecdotal, and I didn't, right? But you use your anecdotal to make your point, right? And I'm saying it is more likely, that's the information that is out on several different studies about having a two-parent household, that is more likely that the girl will make less bad decisions. I'm not saying she's perfect. That's not what I'm saying, right? I'm saying she's more likely to listen to her father than the world that's out there more times than not, based on the information that we have in any study that you go look at.
Because he is a power and the outside world is the influence, but the father is the power. Just like we said, we have the power, the world is the influence, but we have the power.
Until she goes to college.
Can I go without?
Here's the thing. Here's the thing about that power y'all missing. The reason it's not something that I'm hoping my daughter, whether she gonna stray or stay, is that I'm leveraging something that she needs or she wants, and that's my inheritance and that's my cover. If she deviates from my power and my guidance, She is no longer covered for me. I no longer
Facts.
have any responsibility. Therefore, I'm not indebted to her to give her any inheritance.
Facts.
And I'm saying if she do decide to deviate, and she's gone, I got nothing to do with it. Hands is wide.
Facts. You are no longer under my sphere of influence.
She can go be a hoe.
You go be a hoe, go be a crackhead. Nobody cares. Bye. But if you decide to stay here, you're gonna sit your ass down somewhere.
That's it.
People got mad at Dr. Dre when he said that to his daughter.
Because that's the type of men we need.
They didn't know the whole
we don't
story.
have those type of men. We have these men saying, "Oh, but that's my daughter, it's my boy. I can't never." No.
And it goes back to this, Bruiser. We can't even simp for our daughters. Like, we have to like set boundaries with everybody. So when it comes to like dating women or raising your daughter, you can't let your daughter run over you, just like you can't let a woman run over you. You know what I'm saying? So it goes the same way. As a man, women, period, respect men with boundaries and principles, whether it's your daughter or whether it's a woman. So going back to the video, you can run around spending all this money on the woman all you want to. It's going to be another dude who's just going to be hitting her up late at night. And at the end of the day, that's the dude's fault because he is not establishing his financial boundaries. You're supposed to be spending all this damn money on a damn woman.
I'm gonna get content from you and Bruiser, and I'm gonna put it together and put it all together and make a video off of it. No, that's not the reality. That's not what's happening in reality. That's why there's a manosphere.
It happens in reality when the child has a father.
That's why there's passport brothers. Y'all are conflating two things and y'all going like this. Hey, Dad, you're married, right? Right, you're married. You're good.
I'm not married. I'm about to be married June 1st, and I have been married.
I'm still respecting the fact that, man, I'm respecting that.
Oh, okay.
Who's married? Okay. What we're saying though is a lot of men are not forming relationships with women because most women are not listening to men. They're listening to themselves. They're listening to the government. They're listening to the influence of the people in power. Whether she's a thought, whether she's a stripper, whether she's got OnlyFans, Instagram, whether she's a career-driven woman, those women are not listening to the men. They're listening to the power they have. And over the influence that was influencing society, they're in control. Most men are going to simp. Most men are going to, right? Okay. The fact that men get married, whether y'all acknowledge it or not, and what people used to call back then tying down, that marriage and these systems of religion was used to control men's power of what man can really do. And the liberties were, I know it's like that, but the liberties that a man has, the power that a man has to build families, to have multiple women, to have multiple children, even though a lot of people don't like speaking about it because it makes women upset. These forms of systems was made to suppress men. Most of us have become feminist men. We're not masculine men. And I'm not saying y'all brothers, but what I'm saying is that majority of us, even when you're doing what a woman wants, she's still not happy with it.
So this conversation is devolved. Well, this conversation is basically about probabilities versus possibilities. When I'm listening to everybody, because I'm it's almost like I'm a tennis ball going back and forth. Like I hear you, damn, I hear you too, damn, but I hear you, fuck, but I hear you. I'm going back and forth. So possibilities versus probabilities. So we have a situation where we have young women, that we have young men that need to learn that they're never going to be that guy. That's what's scrolling. That's the marquee that's scrolling across the bottom of the screen. They're never going to be that guy. And they need to learn to identify when they're a simp so they can jump out of that shit and snap out of it. Right. Then you have women who didn't have fathers. And then you have young women who have fathers who's going to train their daughters to not take advantage of men. And that's where this conversation started. When Bruiser said, listen, my daughter, I'm teaching her how the ways that she needs to be so she could be successful in life and in love. Well, what's the possibility versus the probability that his daughter's going to listen to him as long as he's in her life as an influencer, right? And then we have Ali saying, you got fathers who really tried that, and their daughters was hoes. We got fathers who thought their daughters went the way that he thought his daughter was, but secretly she was smashing everybody under the bleachers in high school and shit.
Hey, humble daddy.
Yes, sir.
We talked about power.
Hold on, Ali.
I'm sorry, Shannon wasn't finished. Shannon wasn't finished.
I just want you guys to think. And so this is
interrupting people.
It's a rhetorical question, But you guys just need to ask yourselves, what's the possibility of a man being in his daughter's life that she's going to go the way the father wants versus the probability that she'll be a hoe and be influenced by all these other outside things that's fighting against what her father's trying to do.
Probability.
So that's a great question, Shan. Ali wanted to say something.
Thank you. Bruising Humble.
Let me just answer his question.
It's perfect that he said that because I'm gonna formulate because Humble Dad already told you I was asking something, but y'all jump this real quick. Who's more influential to today's women? Gay men, trans men, and simps, or a man that actually tells the truth and wants order? And once he tells the truth, he's told he hates women. So
their daddy.
You give his question. He took his time. He waited.
No, I'm
he got finished talking. And he asked the question. I just want to answer his question. The probability has already been explained to you. Humble Dad nailed it. He already gave you the date on there. You can search on it. Any article, any report, any experiment, you can go find it. The possibility is based on motivating factors. Those motivating factors are subjective to how you run your household, the principles and ideology you instill in your daughter, the situations you place your daughter in to give her any chances to be in that situation. You get what I'm saying? That's all subjective. So you can argue that the possibility is a 50-50. But the probability is always stronger than any possibility. But if you actually leveraging your duty as a father and your benefits and the stuff you have to cover your daughter and your children, if you leverage that and use that, they're gonna see that like, oh, these things are indebted to me. I'm not gonna lose my father's inheritance or his grace or his covering over me over some stupid ass shit. You get what I'm saying? And if
and that's simply features and benefits. That's all they are.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. It's like
they get to an age where you have to treat it like an adult. You have to treat it like it's a transactional thing once they get to an adulthood.
Yeah, because of course they can make their own decisions, right? But the goal of a parent is to mentor their child in a way that they make the best available decision to them. So yes, they're going to probably go astray at some particular point, but more times than not, and I have two daughters, by the way, for those that don't know, I have a 13-year-old and I have a 4-year-old. Okay. I have 3. Sorry. That's true. I got 3 because I'm getting married and I got a 21-year-old. Right. And so my conversation is we not dating bums. You know what I'm saying? And the way that I lead in that way is how I treat their mom. Right. And so if I'm treating their mom well, then they will see what it's like to have a good man in their life. Right.
Yeah.
Case in point, my 21-year-old, you know what I'm saying? She sees how I treat her mom and she's like, man, I like that. Okay. I want something like that. And I've only been in her life for less than a year. Okay. Because I'm a dope dude, 100%. Right. And so what I'm saying is it makes more sense for us to be like, don't be like what you this is gonna sound bad, but it's what it is. You're a pessimist, Ali, right? As opposed to being more of an optimist.
I got injected.
Whoa, let him finish.
No, he interjected for me. We wouldn't have these conversations if I didn't have hope. We wouldn't have these conversations if I didn't believe that we can build on something that can make a better world. But before we can implement solutions, we have to be realistic of what's happening. So that's all I'm saying for that. I'm an extremely positive person. I'm an extremely loving person. If I'm in y'all circles, anything, if there's a challenge or obstacle, I'll go there with you brothers and we'll figure out a solution for it. I'm just a realist. I'm not a pessimist.
Okay. Well, that's my interpretation, and I'm okay with you telling me. I'm okay with you telling me that that's not what you're doing when you're delivering your message. But because me and you speak differently, because I speak from a positive standpoint, trying to as well, because I'm a mathematician, so I always am addressing problems. But I'm trying to figure out how can I get to the problem and not staying on the problem so much. You feel me? So what I'm saying is, if it as it relates to what you were talking about with dads. And like it's when you want the dad to be in the kid's life, right?
Humble Dad, I told y'all it's critical for a father to be there.
Okay.
But that daughter you have is going to be influenced. Once she steps out the house, there's going to be other women.
It doesn't matter, Ali.
It does matter. There's going to be a lot of girls.
It does not.
Let me ask you.
My child can go wherever they want to go. They're going to come back to where I'm at because I'm where the safe place is.
This ego, man. This ego, bro.
That's fine. I'm just asking Ali. I'm asking Ali.
Bro, you know what's in your daughter's TikTok right now?
Hold
You know
on.
what's in your daughter's
Let
Snapchat right now?
finish, y'all.
I'm just asking though. The reason why it sounds pessimistic is because we know obviously that there are people that are going to be different than what it is that they were taught. Like that's not something that's a Captain Obvious statement, right? But the majority, as it relates to the information that is out there, and you can go check Google Scholar, okay, and look up the data as it relates to dads being in their kids' lives, right? And what the impact is. And the reason why, now, if you were talking about how much it is that the world or media or society is trying to take out the man in their household, then I'm with you, right? But I'm saying that that's the reason why they're trying to take us out, bro. Is because they know we're that influential.
Yeah.
Quick question.
And then who else
Hold
up here
on.
has teenage or grown children other than me and Humble Dad?
How many people?
And y'all don't
here,
want to listen to people who got teenage and grown children.
How many men on the panel grew up with, how many men on the panel grew up with a great father in their household? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. How many of your siblings did everything your father did? Said.
Not everything.
No, you know what I mean. How many of you date day and night from your siblings? They doing nothing that your father was talking about. They might have some little characteristics of your father, and might have some, good things that they learned from your father, but it's day and night.
My parents was 2 for 3.
Thank you.
My parents.
That's the only point I'm making. That's the point I've been making.
That's a high percentage, though.
We're not
talking about the percentage, though. We
my kids are 2 for 2 because my kids grew up with a daddy.
See, what y'all don't understand is
after Bruce, I want to get Luis in there, y'all.
Females usually are the ones that always want to talk about the exception, but I've come to find out that it's actually
men be doing it.
Men that want to do it, and it's kind of disgusting,
crazy.
The only way I can believe what you're saying, Ali, is if the probability showed the contrary, which it doesn't. It doesn't show that when your daughter get out of here, she's more likely to participate in decision making that you didn't guide her on. It's actually the opposite. Humble Dad's the statistics he laid out on you is substantial. It's nothing you can argue. You can talk about the exception. You can go to the extremes. You can try to pick and choose anecdotal scenarios.
And
that's a bad
And
argument.
I would say this, Bruiser, and let me add to this, Bruiser. Now, while y'all were talking, I've been sitting here Googling my ass off. And I've been trying to find what does a lack of a father make more sexually promiscuous or sexually risky girls. And the fact of the matter is, they said as long as your father is in your life, you're more likely to be less sexually promiscuous. You're more likely to be less sexually irresponsible.
Let me watch you got something else to argue about out of there. Go ahead.
Let me add to that, because this is what the women do. The women.
Let's go, Trigger Mike.
Y'all ain't gonna just let Sweeney finish.
Oh, my bad, Sweeney.
Sure. That was it. The proof is in the numbers.
I know how to read cues, Bruiser. You lose that ability when you go bald. I understand. All right.
You lose
that
ability.
Hey, listen, Killer Mike, take shots at Bruiser. Okay, don't take shots at everybody.
I got you. But let me break this down. So a lot of women do this where they say, men do it. I know hoes that had 2 daddies. There's a difference. Okay, there's a huge difference. You cannot stop the behavior of your child, but the philosophy you give in your house is more of a backstop to their behavior. You have consistent consequences to weigh against every single action you take. Therefore, you take less risky actions. So even if you a bit of a hoe, you didn't take it to the level other people can take it. And you can tell that the end result is different. You have less children birthing kids out of wedlock, less Black women birthing children before the age of 22 when they have fathers in the home. It is not one of those, I know some hoes type of thing. It's dramatically reduced. Every single statistic you see is dramatically reduced with a present father. He don't even really got to be effective, if we want to be honest. He could just be there.
Just be there.
And make that impact. So it's the consequence, not necessarily the behavior. So, and even when you really want to look at it, it's not knowing that you have a consequence waiting for you. they're more likely to take action against disappointing fathers. I said this on my show today. All right. When somebody said, well, you can't stop your daughter if she want to have a baby out of wedlock, but you guess what I can do? Not go to the goddamn baby shower. And for the rest of her life, she gonna know she disappointed the hell out of me. Therefore, maybe she won't do that shit again. So when she looks at me and I can't look at her in the eyes, she understands I'm disappointed in you and your actions for the entirety of your life. I ain't down with that shit.
So she only
That's
became
how
a,
you supposed to treat
became a baby mama of one
I
instead of
don't
five.
think. I don't even think that it's also that it's more or less the disappointment of the father that has this influence. I think fathers who are active in their daughters' lives tell them what will happen to them, not necessarily from me as the father, but what society is going to do to you as well.
Well,
you know
no,
what I mean?
I
Like
disagree.
Listen, my daughter is 5 years old.
It's
and
what
the word
you instill.
I didn't say that it's
Hold on, Sweeney.
always the case. I said that it's
Sweeney. Let me explain. It's what you instill in your children on a positive end. We don't sit around and oh, a man's gonna do this. You don't do that. You prepare your child and you give your child a base to let them know, like, yo, I love you. And when a child has that feeling that my daddy loves me, these other dudes have to compete with the love that she already has that her dad gave her. We don't warn them about the world, not like that. Like, oh, don't be with this man. No, I tell my children that there are great guys out here. Like, go out, live your life. Just know you got me,
So you don't warn your daughter about the world at all? Nothing. Not just with guys. You don't warn her about.
I don't demonize the world.
I didn't say demonize. I said warn them about the consequences that the world made. That's not demonizing the world.
No, what
that's
I'm
the world
saying
being
is
the
the
world.
bigger influence is not that. That's a part
I
of
didn't say
it.
that.
The big influence is what I'm saying is the love you instill in your child, not the fear you instill in your child, is what I'm saying.
Fellas, if you look at the nation we live in, and you look at the races who have an established community that's flourishing, and you look at their families and how their daughters behave, like let's say you look at the Asian community, those daughters aren't behaving like that on that level. When you look at the demographics of the women who's out here being more promiscuous and leading in single mother households and actually the most unmarried, you're looking at the race that has the most fathers missing from the household. And that's the Black race. And it's because we don't have a community. We don't have no place to travel to and go to and say, this is where I'm going to get my guidance and my structure and my standards for my household. We all individually are separated, and we have our own mentality. So we have our communities is within our own four walls. Until we actually have a community, we're going to be scattered on this. That's why all of us on this panel are the same color and got, not for the most part, but have different experiences and different outcomes and different beliefs on this. But if you had another race, I guarantee if you had all white panel, all them guys would probably be agreeing. Because they all have one community standard.
And they understand the importance of a father.
We don't have a common language. We don't have a place that we can go back home. We don't have a country that we can call. We don't have a goddamn embassy in another country that we can call and say, like, they treating us bad over here. Come help. We just the ADOS, we're the only ones on the planet like this.
Nomads. We nomads.
White people just like that too. The white people of this country just like that. They ain't got what y'all talking about?
They can go back to
What
Europe.
You mean? They can tell you they're Italian.
They don't know. No, these white people have no idea.
They got pictures and everything. They got lineage, family tree. All
these
that.
white people have no idea who their ancestors are.
They got more than.
And real quick, let me say this. Somebody said environment is way stronger than the dad. You as a man have to be your daughter's environment.
Like,
you have to be their environment.
All right, Joe, we gotta get Luis in there. Go ahead, Luis.
Yeah, man. A lot of you guys brought up a lot of great points, and I mean, regardless of which side you slice it, the father is the first line of defense in his household. Closed book shut. There's a reason why fathers keep daughters off of stripper poles and sons out of jails. right? It's that presence, it's that discipline, it's that overreaching of constantly having that conversation. I've had conversations with my father where he's brought me, he's like, you see those guys over there sitting right there? You don't ever want to end up like that. You know what I'm saying? That's a result of drugs. That's a result of drinking. That's a result of excess. This is what happens when you walk with these types of people. He'll point out examples in your life. He'll show you who your friends are. You know what I'm saying? My household always had a very famous saying. It's like, show me who you walk with, and I'll show you, who you really are. And in that saying, you kind of get an understanding of your surroundings. Fathers are heavily a huge influence, especially for me. Like, I'm the oldest of 3, and all of us are all doing well, successful in our own right. Didn't come from a lot of resources or a lot of money, but the discipline, the integrity that was passed down to us, that constant check-in, those were things that that kept us afloat. Always was present in our lives, always talking to us. And as long as there are a lot of active present fathers in their children's life, regardless of whether they're married or not, that will always be the determining factor of that child's outcome in life.
All right. Let me go back to the original topic, whatever there was. There are some women that you will never be that guy to. All right, so I'll try to get this from the marriage perspective. And on that perspective, fellas, you got to marry the one that likes you, not the one you like. I think that's the simplest way to put it. And I mean the one you like at first. It's not your fault, though, because I understand that the world has taught you that you're supposed to chase women, that you're supposed to fall at their feet and sing them love songs and bring them flowers and shit. Like, I can't think of a bigger time than the 90s. People say no. The 90s, like, it was Baby Please, hands in the air, crying in the rain. The music videos were even better in the 90s. So you had a visual, not only an audio example of telling you to pander to women and their needs. So I understand how y'all ended up this way. But the power in the relationship still resides with the person that cares the least. And if you're a man on your purpose going to work, knowing that a woman is going to respect you for doing exactly what you need to do and want to be aligned with you simply because you're on your purpose, then you're on the right track. It's not that you care less about your woman. You just care more about your purpose and serving your family. Women can respect that, and they will. So remember that a woman, a married woman, more specifically, a wife, is there to serve. A woman don't serve no dude she can't respect. So a woman doesn't respect the dude that chased her. So it's just that simple. Work, reverse engineer it and understand that you're not supposed to chase women. You got to understand something. My wife was my ex-girlfriend. I was out here living the life. And I guess she went and dated a dude and was like, oh, snap, I should have never let the last one go. And I was just picking up her phone like, can I help you? I thought we broke up. Right? But she the one who said, my father said it. Go with her. Go with that one. She was good stock. I'm glad to see she want to be back in your life. That's a good girl right there. You out here chasing tail. Don't trust yourself. Don't go with the one that with the fat booty and, the risque clothes. Go with that one. She's a good one. She wants you back. And I took her back. And I'm living a damn good life because of it. My mic is muted.
Let me ask y'all a question. What is it that I said the most I'll do for a woman? Anybody knows?
Change your tires.
Says eat her ass.
Eat her behind.
Eat her ass and change tires.
And buy some tires. Exactly.
And put oil in the car.
That's the most I'm gonna do for a woman. Feed her a little bit. That's about it. I ain't buying her shit. If I take her somewhere, it's because I want to fucking go. I ain't doing nothing.
Buy her a pack of bubble gum so she, when she kiss you, she can at least clean up some of that breath.
But I'm just saying, I say that because that's how I live my life. I ain't taking no goddamn where unless I want to go. Because at the end of the day, it's what I want to do, is where I'm going. I'm not doing all this crazy shit for you. No, I'm doing all this crazy shit for me, and you can accompany me.
So what do you teach your daughter?
The same thing.
No. What is that?
You don't need no man to buy you all this other stuff, because a lot of times men who buy you all this stuff.
That's why relationship. How you gonna?
What are you talking about?
That's how I get. And Bruiser do the same thing too. See, y'all don't make no sense, man. That's ego.
First of all,
that's no relationship. If you teach your daughter that, and you say men do
I
that
have
way,
no idea what you're talking
happen.
about, sir. What are you talking about? Can you explain what you're talking about?
What did you
do I teach my daughter?
What did you just tell
I don't
man?
teach. We don't have a conversation about
stay down here with
man
me.
buy you a whole bunch of shit.
No, stay right here with me.
Okay, what are you talking about?
What did you just say you'll do for a woman? What can she get from you?
Eat her ass, buy some tires.
That's right. Then I asked you, what would you teach? Now, this is a man. That's what we teach a man, right? Two.
Think about this. Think about the context of this.
Think about it, right? Think about it first before
Stop. Think about the context of this. When a man buys a woman tires, that means that man is making sure that woman is safe. It's a reason why I say buying a woman some tires. It's figurative. I'm going to make sure her car is straight. Why? Because that is my protection.
No, let
stop,
go.
Bro,
no, let go. You derailing. I didn't ask you
let
that.
me finish, bro.
No,
Damn.
you know I ain't letting you finish.
Stop.
No, I'm cutting you off.
Bro, stop.
What do
So
you teach
when I'm just going to keep talking like you ain't saying nothing. So when a man,
that ain't what I asked you.
I'm going to keep talking. So when a man gets with my daughter, his number one job is to make sure to keep her safe. So because figuratively is buying her tires, make sure her car is straight, doing the utilitized part of the relationship instead of buying her flowers and all this other shit. You make sure my daughter is safe. One of my daughters is married, so it's a real thing. My son-in-law makes sure my daughter is safe. I ain't worried about it. Flowers bullshit. He does the utility shit. That's what I'm talking about. So when I say eat your ass, buy your tires, eat your ass, I don't care what my daughters do or whatever, because that's sex. That's whatever. But the buying tires means I'm going to make sure that your well-being is taken care of.
How did I get included in that, Ali? Saying don't Bruiser do
because you did it, because you'll do the same thing, Bruiser.
What did I do?
We'll tell men, hey, this is how you get your get a woman to submit. This is a man having authority. Make sure the woman, either she's with you or she's not, let her go. Then when I ask you what you teach your daughter,
teach her something that goes directly against that.
Huh?
What did I say?
Hold on, Sweeney. What?
I said basically what you just said was, and I get where Ali is coming from.
What do you mean?
You said that you're going to teach men to do X, Y, Z, right? And that's how you go. That's how you do right by a woman. And then right behind that, he asked you, what would you teach your daughters? And you said that she don't need a man. And
she don't need a man.
What are you talking about? How did I get tossed up?
Hold on, Bruiser. What are you talking about, Sweetie? Are you just who don't need a man? What are you talking about? All right, I'm done. What the hell is y'all talking about? See, the thing about it is y'all spend so much time trying to argue instead of having a conversation where y'all make yourself sound stupid. Go ahead, Bruiser.
Man, like I stated before, my whole premises was what Shannon Rawls repeated whenever he got cut off. And I tried to answer his question. I hope I answered your question, Shannon.
I heard you.
My whole premise was based on my covering and leveraging my inheritance that I'm indebted to her for in order for her to be obedient to me until she get married. Because I'm the type of man that's going to take care of my daughter until she actually get married. She can stay in my house as long as she wants until she get everything she need to go out here and prosper in the world. That is a part of my covering. That's a part of my inheritance to her. And I try to tell all men and women, I'll tell all parents, hold on to your children, because a lot of people want to throw their kids out at 18. They don't even have the wings to fly. You got to hold on to your children long enough. You don't have to look at inheritance as this big lump sum that you just got to throw at them. Your inheritance is covering them, giving them a head start, getting them to the starting line in the race so they can go ahead and live their life. And if that's you holding on to them long enough so they can get it for your sons to get established, stack up his money, invest his money until he get his degrees and get out there and work and be able to do for himself, that is an inheritance. It's something that our community don't have because we don't have any standards. Nobody knows this. Nobody's sharing this because we don't have a mutual interest. So I'm saying if you leverage these things that you're going to give to your children, they will obey you. But it's just sad that more often than not, the father is not in the household to even have this conversation or even have these things to give. So it's like a dead end conversation. But I'm a father. So that's why I'm speaking from this. I'm not taking this from nobody else, but this is just how I'm going to operate. This is the most optimized way I feel that I can get this thing done and get my children to listen to me. And every man has his own way. Every man has his own household. And until we as men come together and have a community as a people, then we can share these things with each other and do trial and error and figure out what works and don't work. And actually move the needle on establishing our community as a Black race.
Yeah, instead of y'all trying to, not bruise it, but instead of y'all trying to argue people's points, let's just have a conversation.
Well, I will say this. I stand corrected, Mr. Lego. You did say no need a man, but you said don't need a man to buy you all this other stuff, which I'm thinking you referring to the cards, the candy, and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want no man to be buying my daughter all this crazy shit. Just make sure she's safe. And with me, just like what I was saying to Ali, I'm not going to buy a woman all this bullshit. I'm going to make sure she's safe. I'm going to make sure her father recognizes that I am going to be her next father if she chooses and I choose her. And he can give her to me and I'm going to protect her just like he has. And he didn't buy her a whole bunch of crazy shit. And I ain't going to buy her a whole bunch of crazy shit. But what I'm going to do is the same thing as her father. Take care of her, make sure she's safe, and make her happy. That's about it.
Unless my kids going into the military,
happy, not happy being happy, safe.
Unless my kids are going into the military, man, my sons, they can stay here until they get themselves established, until they get themselves to where they can actually go and pay their own bills and all that stuff.
Yes, I agree.
I do agree with you 100% with that.
There's a new world we're moving into that's probably going to be necessary if we really want to be real about it.
Yeah. I actually want to buy a house big enough where everybody can move in and have their own space and everything, like an 8-bedroom house or some shit like that, and everybody has their own space and everybody lives in the same house.
Me too.
I ain't doing that shit, man.
It's as bad. It's gonna be a dark world coming. I mean, it's gonna be vital.
Today's society, that might be the best.
If some crazy shit happens, we all in the same house, up under the same system, with the same weapons and all that other shit.
Indians do it. Hispanics do it. The Arabs do it.
Africans do it.
All of them, they Africans do it. They stay together because and generationally, because how you don't want them to be influenced by the outside world. So make sure they always have a supportive family.
Ali is correct, because I actually talked to a guy that I was in the military with, and that's how all 7 of their siblings did. They all bought one house and lived into it for a whole year. They all put their salaries together and paid the house off for the whole year. And the 6 until one got in his married and his family. And the one that had a marriage and family kept the house, and all 6 of the rest of the siblings moved into a whole nother house, paid that off for the year. In 6 years, they had all 6 houses paid off in full.
Yeah, look, I get what y'all saying, but I live in a country of privilege. So my kids should be able to get the same thing I get. Now, that's not to say that I won't leave them anything or won't help them, but they don't have to be in my house to do what they need to do.
No, Sweeney. Yes, they do.
That's him.
Yes, they do.
Look, you got to 21. You got to 21. 3 of them.
You got 3 kids? How old are they? Like old or young?
13, 12, and 11.
That's why he's saying that.
Damn, Sweeney.
Nerves there, right? You ready?
Sweeney, what the heck? We're not gonna speed past those ages. Like this dude don't got Irish twins walking around his mug. That's crazy. God,
well, you ain't get your wife no break.
No,
I know, right?
Well, as y'all know from the last conversation, I got an adopted daughter. Then I had my son.
He a beta. No, I'm just kidding.
But Sweeney, the thing about it is, you do want to experience or allow them to experience life away from you and allow them to come back. Because I allow my kids to go out in the world, and if they want to come back, they come back. You know what I'm saying? So,
you always like, I'm always gonna be a safe haven for you, but I ain't the permanent.
And that's what I'm saying. The safe haven until they, until my daughter finds a husband.
The chat
Yeah.
said Sweeney taking care of one of my kids. What the hell? Oh no.
Hey, okay, Sweeney. Come on, Sweeney.
See, now Bruce is just trying to be
wrong.
disrespectful. Bruce is trying to be disrespectful. That's that bald head energy right there.
Oh, I got you in Trigger Mike.
Bald head.
Trigger Mike, I get caught up in this.
Yeah.
Let me get through these super chats real quick. Arnold $20 says Mr. Lego about to lose it when he not in the conversation.
See how the conversation is so much fun when we're not sitting up talking about Jesus for like an hour.
Thomas Thompson $2 says
New Testament.
Sim and Shan salute. Technobility $5 says if you're not a thirsty dude, you will navigate this better and you won't worry about being that guy. To an unworthy woman, it's her loss. Michael M199 says culture stop hoism, not individual fathers.
That is true.
Powerful.
Yeah, but who controls culture?
Who controls culture?
Men.
Men control culture?
Women control.
So you're saying that everything that's Taiwan on the internet right now is a byproduct of men?
Yes, what they allow. They
Or
want
the lack thereof.
they want divided and broken families. While the elites keep their families, they want our families to be in shambles. Yes, for sure. No competition.
Yeah, so men, the white men is what we're saying. The white men, not the black men.
Whatever men in power.
White men actually has this culture so messed up. Technobilly $5 says not all dads are great dads. It's chance ability bless you.
COVID.
Never heard of a mute button, nigga? God damn.
Shit, my bad.
Who the hell was that?
Whoever that was, they did not have a father.
What? It sounds good. But good men dads are rare. That's a probability. I think lastly, Striking and Rich $2 says environment has way stronger effect.
If your dad is the environment, I agree.
I think I'm gonna have
What you looking at, Shan? Is he frozen or he looking away from Mr. Let Go?
I know.
Okay, that's that look off.
He's probably watching Knight Rider or something.
He said Knight Rider.
Oh, Sanford and Son.
He looked at David Hasselhoff wearing leather pants in and out of this little Knight Rider car.
Hey, JR, somebody said you skipped a super chat.
What was the super chat?
Striking is rich. Striking is rich.
It is.
You got another one too.
I seen that one. I don't think I skipped that, did I?
It said,
man, who is chewing into the microphone?
Oh shit. Who is that?
Another person that probably didn't have a father. See, this is the reason why fathers need to be in the home. Niggas chewing in the damn microphone and shit.
You was hungry too, Trey. You ain't even like you was killing that whatever you was eating, man. You ain't eat all day.
Got to keep the snacks on deck. Yep.
Here it's probably this one right here. Striking the Rich $2 says it was kind of Ali, the only one.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Had to be one of them dudes like,
here we go.
Ali, where's Ali? Let him speak.
Hey, Ali got a couple fans in here, man. This dude, Mike Tyler, is a super fan.
They be dudes, though. I'm sorry. I don't want no dudes in no chat. Like,
you can hate me now.
Let go, Mr. Let Go.
But I won't stop now. They want to hate me, but hate me.
I hate Mr. Let Go guts.
I want dudes to hate my guts.
Let him spit. Yes. Go ahead and spit, Ali. Go ahead and spit that rhyme you was just spitting.
That's
he was rhyming.
Nah, I ain't. That was Nas. That was Nas.
Oh shoot! I saw your album, man. That's tough.
You gotta hear the new stuff.
You gotta send me a link to it.
I'll send you some stuff. Maybe you'll play it.
Is it on Spotify?
Yeah, you like him.
Can I play it on my intros? My strings?
You a rapper? You be rapping?
I'm an artist. I ain't gonna say I'm a rapper.
Oh, now we semantics.
Hey, I ain't no rapper, man.
Hey, that's why
Ali does. Ali is Mr. Semantics. Yeah, I want to hear it, bro. Send me whatever you got. I want to hear it.
I'll send you some tracks.
I'm not a rapper.
It's on your YouTube, right?
Because I would, if you allow me to, if it sounds good, I'm making my intro. You heard me?
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna send it to you.
I'm making my intro if it's dope.
Okay. I got it.
That's why you was defending that whole idea about you can still be great at something by going through hard work.
You remember
a 30-year-old rapper?
That's how I made the rap career joke. That's how I did that.
You can't just rap because but I know a lot of hard-working rappers.
Hey, I do too. Sometimes, hey, look, there's an age limit on that.
Hey,
Young man's game.
Hey, I think y'all speaking Big Cloud language right there, man. He started talking about music and rapping or something. Hey, Cloud, don't you rap or something?
Yeah, I rap. I sing. I'm a
I see the
songwriter.
foam on the back of the wall. You already know.
Oh
what that
shit!
is.
Hold on. So we got a battle.
I see
Ali versus Cloud Jones. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm not really a battle rapper, but you know what I'm saying. Hey, yo, I said now. Let me stop.
Yo, how would a virtual rap battle even look?
It'll probably be
I
fine.
ain't gonna lie,
You can't do that posture like y'all about to punch each other in the face. Like, yeah. Okay.
I think Ali take Cloud Jones out. I think Ali got some bars.
Nah, don't do me like that. You ain't even heard the bars yet.
Nah, man. Battle rap is all about the theatrics now, bro. It's who can get in the other person's face and make head movements like while the other person got a straight face.
It got to be a full package though. But you're right. A lot is big on presentation. Battle rapping is big on presentation, but you got to have kind of the full package a little bit.
Oh, that's obviously let go need. Everybody acting like children.
Look, when I saw that,
pull up on my channel. I do a rap battle. That'll be dope. I have both y'all up there.
I'm getting in there.
That's why I have a back.
Ain't nobody trying to watch a bunch of old Negroes rap, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
I'm
bust out
I'll tell
the old nigga rap battle. Come on, man. These guys are young.
Jay still rapping now.
Hey, Cloud Jones, hey, go ahead and spit something, man.
All right. I'm shedding light like a bright linen liquid nitrogen. Wave around my wrist when the weather gets stifling. You collapse because your muscles relax like Vicodin. Way too far going to strong arm a rifleman. Sick to my sinuses, I minus all that minor shit. Palms dirty like I'm mind cold, but my mind's gold. I don't rely, I only provide. My pride got me wrestling tides and riding these waves to stay current. But currently the culture craves courage, pushing obstacles out the way so we could flourish. Amongst brothers, we need pivotal discussions. My mind frame stimulate the public, hate to love it. Life is strong, drink in the glass, and I'ma chug it. All without a hiccup, or without a budget. Give it all for the republic, for which it stands. I understand I gotta hustle till I own my land. The misdirection. Money holds fast cars, bottles in your section. To string along the lost ones with wicked intentions. I thank the Lord the day Barack Obama got elected. Felt neglected when I didn't see the changes I expected. We can stop from there.
That's a challenge, Ali. That's a challenge.
Ali?
Man, I ain't gonna take away.
I don't know.
I ain't gonna take away from that, man.
I don't know.
If we really want to be real about it,
Ali saying that's
Fuck it, man. Collaboration, you know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna take away from him.
Ali, it's on you, Ali. Go ahead.
If we want to be real about it,
Don't
mix up now.
You can't be a rapper if you're not a performer. You got to do it.
Like that. I'm just not gonna take away from his moment. That's nice.
Let the super chats judge, Ali. Come on, let the super chats judge. We ain't gonna say nothing.
Don't mix up now.
I'm not.
Oh shit!
How about next one? Maybe next one I'll hit y'all.
Wow.
Cloud Jones.
All right. Let me go.
Feel pressure. See the
All right, so who's we got next? The bald head assassin. Let's get it.
All right. They call him Cloud Jones, but he look like Cloud Gones. Light skin with the
boo this man.
Boo. Cloud Jones looks like he ready to drop some more bars.
I don't freestyle anymore.
Keep going.
I don't freestyle anymore. Every dude on this panel has written a rap song before. Every dude.
Let's hear it, Trigger Mike.
So we might as well hear it. Who, me?
Interesting.
Who,
no,
me?
Nice.
He just said,
I'm nice,
look at the contradiction.
Somebody go before me.
Go ahead, Trigger Mike. Go ahead.
Somebody go before me.
Trigger Mike sound like a rapper.
I even got a beat to my old rap song. I'll play the whole damn thing.
Don't say it because you probably wrote it when you were sick.
Hey, go ahead,
probably
Shan.
rapping about going over a girl.
Yeah. I don't freestyle no more. I haven't practiced.
Hey, Shan, go ahead. West Coast. Go ahead.
West Coast?
That's what Shan did.
Ooh.
Come on, man. Y'all a flat.
All right, I got some.
Go ahead.
I'm just fucking with y'all.
Come on, Lapeef Jr., the 8 ball, the NBA.
Everybody's getting ready. Go ahead. Luis, go ahead. It's on you.
I'm not a rapper.
I'm not a star.
Hey, Sweeney, like he got some bars. So go ahead, Sweeney.
Sweeney, I know you got some bars.
You over there writing these rhymes right now.
He said, "Yo, they're writing high."
Sweeney look like he can rap.
Don't get them lying to y'all.
Bro, you know you look like you can rap, bro.
Nah, don't. Nah, can't even. Not even close. I cut hair for a living. I give you a fresh fade. That's about as far as my skills go.
Sweeney said he
ain't got no inheritance. No, I'm just kidding. Mess with you.
Come on.
Well, I guess ain't nobody.
So the only reason I don't want to rap is because y'all gonna look at me different. The shit I used to rap about was kind of wild. I was not only a rapper, I was a party promoter. So it kind of was all in the same thing.
He's rapping about the
Nigerian rap too, ain't it?
All right, so
Go
don't
for
look
it.
at me different. I'm gonna sing the chorus first. So the joint go.
The chorus.
First of all, I'd like to thank the one that keep me high like my shit don't stank. The one, the supplier, I'm his number one buyer. That shit's so fire. So this one right here is for my dealer, my dealer, my dealer, my dealer. All right. Got 2 X pills, 2 grams of coke, 3 Xanax, all going in my nose. I can't go to work. Fuck it, I'm stopped up, sucked it out. I'm calling out. I'm still guapped up. Hold up. My dealer say he rocked up, told me come through, but keep a lookout for that cop truck. I swear he got that goodie. That purple stuff is gookie. The pills that had you geeking. Hit the club and start juking. Oxycontin, methazine, angel dust, amphetamines. Dancing like I'm Pretty Ricky, singing like I'm Pleasure P. Oops, I think I spilled my weed. Time to call my dealer back. My soul I ain't home, but you know where I keep it at. I went to the back door, right under the welcome mat. Found a bag that's just for me, and that shit was extra fat. And I accept y'all award. But first of all, I'd like to thank the one that keep me high like
Yo,
my
it's
shit.
giving 3-6 Mafia type shit to me.
Yeah. I was on some other shit.
Trigger Mike 3-6 Mafia. Let's go.
You got another one for us, Cloud?
Nah, I'm gonna just give y'all one for now. I don't want to use it all up. Maybe another show. I'll do another one. Maybe.
Chat hating. Bring y'all ass up here then. Trigger Mike was a drug addict.
He was going to hell with that shit. I'm like, yeah.
You don't judge the white people. Don't judge me.
You had to write that in Norfolk State, Trigger Mike.
Of course.
It's been another wild ending, man. I see Sweeney still over there writing. He's still
That's crazy.
Like Ali, like damn, fuck.
Mr. Lego is from Philly. And he can't rap. Ain't that some shit? He a fraud.
Oh, y'all don't want me to start now. Y'all don't want me to draw no bars.
Oh, you can rap
Shit
too?
call me MCAARP. If you don't get your ass out of it, no.
Look, y'all know Mr. Lego got a car selling voice. He don't have a rapper voice.
Man, he got a childhood trauma lyric.
Yo, that's crazy.
All right,
I opened for Lloyd once. Lloyd, the singer. I did.
Mike said, "JR, you next." No, not today. Not today. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all catch Trigger Mike's show tomorrow, man. It's child support unconstitutional.
Oh man, I wanna. Sure, I might have to come in on that one.
11:15 a.m. Y'all make sure y'all catch.
Where the baby daddy's at?
How did y'all do that thumbnail? That shit fire.
Yeah, that was a good thumbnail.
With that being said, appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys follow everybody on the platform, man. Mostly everybody on here have platforms. Bruiser. Go ahead, shout the channels out. Go ahead, Bruiser.
Hold on.
My channel was.
I want to drop some bars.
Okay, go ahead.
Y'all about to make me rap for real, man.
Y'all ready?
Yeah, this nigga wrote a rap.
1 fish, 2 fish.
Red fish, blue fish.
Knick-knack,
paddywhack.
Sunday morning, I'm still yawning from the night before.
No.
From the switches I smoke. Oh,
go ahead and end the show, JR.
In the bed with me. I remember the pussy, but I don't remember her name.
Y'all ain't right, yo.
Now we know why they call them let go. Let go of those dreams.
Just let it go.
Let go of those dreams.
That's 8-Ball MJG. I'm
Man,
joking. I'm
took his
joking.
time to rap.
That was 8-Ball MJG. That's not mine. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking.
All right, go ahead, Bruce. Go ahead, set the channel out, dude.
Channel is Concur Network. Y'all check us out. I'm dropping reels all the time. I'm trying to pivot into like some new content on there for a dating show under the Groomsman Show playlist. If there's any males out here that's single that want women to come up and shoot their shot at you, let me know. I'll build a show around you to sponsor you so ladies can come up and shoot their shot. You know, subscribe. That's it.
All right, go ahead, Trigger.
Trigger Mike Show on YouTube and IG.
Go ahead, let go.
Mr. Let Go, if you are in Chicago or in Detroit, send me a DM and I'll let you know how to get tickets to the show. We're going to be there Saturday and Sunday. Chicago,
this weekend coming up.
Yeah, this weekend coming up. So if you are in Chicago or Detroit, send me a DM and I'll let you know how to get tickets to the show.
Luis will be designing the Lapeef Network building. So go ahead, Luis.
Luis _DSGN for design. You can find me there, back channel me. I'm always working on some crazy projects. I have a few off the grid shelter, tiny home projects, and I'm renovating a few projects in the city. So tap in with me.
Go ahead, Ali.
You can find me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok on Ilkan Ali or Facebook. Name is right there. Can I say right there? And also on Team Fatty. That's in Lapeef. That's currently the only places I'll be right now. It's my own. I'll probably start going live this week or next week consistently. And then on Team Fatty. And then y'all can find me on Instagram as well too.
All right, Sweeney.
Yeah, SMS Sweeney Podcast on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. And if you're in the Dallas area, look me up, Sweeney the Barber.
All right, Cloud Jones.
Yeah, you can find me at Big Cloud Jones on everything, all platforms, social media. I got a single out right now called Unavailable on all platforms. Check that out. And cloudjones.com.
All right, Shannon Rawls.
Yo to the noobs. Shannon Rawls. You can find my link in the description of this video, being the second oldest brother on King Talk other than the owner, JR.
I gotta update that. Salute to you, sir. Let's make sure we support each other. That's what it's all about, man. You know, we are better together than apart. So make sure you follow everybody on the individual platforms and just support, even if they don't have a platform, support what they're doing. We got some talented brothers that do work outside of YouTube, but YouTube doesn't, it's not their life. You understand? So Luis, I've seen some of his projects. He is very talented. So whenever I work up to be able to afford the work you do, look like it's some expensive quotes there, sir. But whenever I get up there to that status, I will be there one day. I'm definitely gonna come to you. You know, not
work with you.
Okay, that's all I need to hear, brother. That's all I need to hear. You know, that's that question everybody hate. What's your budget? Everybody hate that question. What's your budget? That's a difficult question to answer because they.
You hear that question, Bruiser? Right?
I mean,
you hear that question, Bruiser? Right? What's your budget?
I'm already hip to that. I'm a videographer, man. I already know.
You ain't use it. You know what I'm talking about. What's your budget?
I'm already hip to that. I'm a videographer.
Okay. It seems like
sound like some personal shit going on there.
Yeah, I know. It seems like
Nah, I be trying to get Bruiser on his game, man. Like he missing out on money out here.
Yeah. There you go. So with that being said, appreciate you guys. Hit that like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, man. Thank you, panel.
It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure.
Y'all be safe, family.
All right, y'all. Check out Trigger Mike in the morning, y'all. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all check out Bridging the Gap tomorrow. Check out Bridging the Gap tomorrow on the Lapeef Experience page. That is Kelly Connections show. And we'll be talking about abuse tomorrow. It's going to be a special topic, sensitive topic for some, but I think it's an important discussion to have. So make sure you guys tune in tomorrow on the Lapeef Experience page. Bridging the Gap tomorrow on the Lapeef Experience page. Just put in the Lapeef Experience, go to playlist, and you should see Bridging the Gap there. Kelly Connection is leading that discussion tomorrow. Also, make sure you guys follow the Lapeef page. Some things is brewing over there as well. Y'all stay tuned. A lot of content gonna be dropping. Just want to say thank you guys for your support. As always, tomorrow's Wednesday, so it's another day in the paradise of the Lapeef Experience. That like button. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel, family. We want to give a special thanks for all the supporters out there. Shout out to all the first responders, everybody that's going in the third shift or either getting off third shift. Salute to you. All my second shifters that's getting off. Salute to you and your life. Y'all be safe out there, family. Last track, family. I just got through dropping a link right there for the Lapeef Experience page, Bridging the Gap. Make sure you guys click that link and give a follow over there right now. Bridging the Gap is going live tomorrow at 8 p.m. No, 7:30 p.m. Central, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you guys go ahead and give a follow. Kelly Connections. We'll be talking about abuse in relationships. So make sure you guys check that out. It's the last track, family.